Hi everyone, welcome back to ROOTTREEMANIA, hopefully the finale. I love this game, but I do feel like it's gone on for a really long time, so I think I just need to finish it today. So I think we're gonna push through, try to finish it. Excuse me. I don't remember this t-shirt. This looks like a new t-shirt. Oh no! Pregnant Sonic has been pinned. I don't know how to explain to people that this is how I pay my taxes. Oh, he's been pinned all right. Girl, let's get back to work. We have to figure out all the love children Guy Hudson had because he was, we're in the first minute of the recording. I can't say what he was doing yet. So I think where we left off, I got a little stuck. Can we talk about how this baby looks like a 42-year-old baby? Did I say that last time? This baby looks 42 years old. Okay, where did I leave off? There was something I needed to read. Oh God, what was it? Page 1. Oh, this is what we needed to read. We got the article that was removed. So we can read this now. Okay. This is an interview with Sisely Sanchez, an author. She was hired to write a book about Guy Hudson. You claim to have been paid a significant amount to write a book about one of the root trees, Guy Hudson. He was president for a short period at the end of the 1970s, right? Yeah, I met him on New Year's Eve, actually, the last night of 1978. Guy liked to throw big parties. I was just coming off of Changed Man and looked for my next project. Nothing. Okay. Well, I tried. When his wife learned who I was, she invited me to the party and they cornered me to talk about a book. That was the first time anyone recognized me from my work. I had finally made it. The book they asked me to write sounded great, but then none of the stuff that made him interesting was allowed to stay. Chop, chop, snip, snip. Anything with even the slightest threat to Guy's image ended up gonzo. What was the stuff that made him interesting? At his core, Guy was not complicated. In fact, I think I could boil him down to 2 traits. First, he wanted to be seen as the second coming of the great Elias Roottree. And second, he'd never be satisfied living the life needed to be seen that way. He'd never be satisfied living the life needed to be seen that way. Oh, I see. He had his fortune and good looks, and he really liked to exploit that to pick up women, but he couldn't let anyone else know. So it cost him a lot to cover it up. That was the only interesting aspect of Guy. He was James Bond trying to convince people he was Mr. Rogers, I guess. Mr. Rogers, really? Maybe that's not the best metaphor, but Elias Roottree was boring as all hell and all about family. Guy did everything he could to be seen that way. After I submitted my first draft, he sent me this garbage book, The Roottree Legacy, with Elias on the cover. The last time he and I met, he had even switched out his orange suits for the same green ones Elias wore. And remember fancy flavors? Guy knew that part of Elias's legacy was the 5-piece flavors, so that's what Guy tried to do too. Caviar was a disaster here, but it was actually somewhat popular in Brazil for whatever reason. In Christmas 1979, he went to Brazil to open the Roottree Brazil factory. Guy was always hopping around the world trying to recreate that success. Bored and horny. Yeah, it's been a few minutes. Now we can say, he was a whore. All he did was sleep with women. So how come the book never came out? It's complicated. I had an out in my contract. Surprisingly, Guy signed the contract my lawyers wrote without running it by anybody in his legal department. I could pull my name off the book at any time, but Guy still got the content. After I left, it probably got a lot harder to convince any real publisher to give it their time. He was the president, right? Do you know why he never released it himself? If I had to guess, his family very wisely put a stop to it. Mid-1981, months after I had already moved on, he called me back and showed me a final draft. Do you know how expensive it is to publish one copy of a book? It had my name on it in big, shiny, embossed letters. Like all problems in his life, throwing money at me was his attempt to win me back. But it had half the page count and the narrative was torn to bits. No thanks. The dinner was good. Imported steak that likely cost as much as a month of my mortgage, and we all got pretty drunk. He sent his mistress Susie something into the bathroom to proposition me. Poor girl. I remembered her from our trips overseas. She was too good for him. Anyways, he died soon after, and that was the last name. She delivers information the same way I do. Anyways, he died after that. So anyways, after that, he fucking died. So anyways, he's dead now. He sent his mistress Susie something to proposition me. Didn't go well. Anyways, he fucking died the next day. Holy shit. He died? When? Oh my God, speaking of when, we have new highlights today. I did upload them on April 1st, so they're up on YouTube, but we have new highlights today, so I hope you enjoy them. Tea and cinema roll. Thank you for bringing that to me. Okay, what can you tell us about the family? Any insight into the scandals from the recent book by Sam Madsen? I actually haven't read it. I just skimmed the sections on Guy to see why people were suddenly calling me up to ask about the man. I'd say she did well for what she had to work with. She only had rumors, whereas I spent time tailing him. Sometimes he knew, sometimes he didn't. He invited me to join them when dealing with Roottree Brazil, but I actually had people on him when he went to Australia, France, and China too. When he met with someone, I'd figure out who they were and how they were involved. Doubly so if the meeting happened when he didn't want me to be around. Despite his best efforts, I got the whole truth, including things even his family never knew. For example, the daughter of his business partner in Australia, I think her name was Robyn, he and she definitely spent a few nights together, and that he didn't want his family to know about, but I did. Business partner in Australia, Robyn. Write that down, write that down, write that down. Business partner, Australia, Robyn. We'll look into her after. That seems important. Madsen got things wrong? Sam mentions Guy's affairs and treats them like most people would logically think to treat them, like the infidelity was a problem for Patricia. When his wife first approached me, though, it wasn't to talk, if you get my meaning. On paper and in public, it was a marriage like any other, but in reality, it was more of a mutually beneficial arrangement. They both got what they wanted out of it. Same thing. So, open relationship. Still a whore, though. Doesn't make him any less of a whore. He's got children in so many different area codes. It's fucking wild. Still a whore, though. What was that? I'm assuming I only have to spell it out so you can get it in writing for your readers. Women. Patricia enjoyed the company. Wait, what? Patricia enjoyed the company of women, and the swinger scene made that more accessible. I told her I wasn't interested in her and got... They were gay. She was gay and he was a slut. The best possible partnership. Lesbian woman, slutty man. Oh my God. They're all whores. They're all fucking whores. I found out later that if I had said yes, her next question would have been whether or not her husband actually had to be there too. She's got game. She's got game. Excuse me. Guy, on the other hand, was seen in a traditional marriage and at the same time could bed any women that found him charming. I can assure you that was exactly the type of marriage he was interested in. Okay, who the fuck is Robyn? Who's Robyn? Do we have a Robyn on here? We have Joanna. We have, who's that? Susan Ford. And then we have her from a holiday party. And her, who the fuck is that? Okay, business partner Robyn. Let's look at the company records again. So Zach would be retiring, Guy would take over. Guy Hudson replaced Ernest Madsen Jr. as special management. Is she listed here? Oh, Guy Hudson replaces Zach. Okay. Robyn. When did they go to Australia? Australia in 1979. 1979. Is Robyn not listed here? Maybe because she is a business partner and not like an employee. Okay, Robyn? Hi, Ginge. How are you? I have to blow my nose. Sorry. I'm so congested, dude. Right when I thought I was getting better. Right when I thought I was getting better. Okay, Robyn. Robyn. Who could this be? This photo is the first from a magazine interview with Sisely Sanchez. The issue of Piketty magazine that it came from was pulled from the shelves, but you managed to find it online. Piketty does not label its individual photos. Both photos were instead under the shared label. Sisely was provided these photos. Okay. Christmas party. Who could this be? Show this portrait in the family tree. So this had to be someone who was married. But they broke up. So who is that? So I got his, oh, no, this placement is correct because his photo is right. So I just need to figure out who this is. This could be Robyn. Are you fucking Australian? Show yourself. And then when they switched over, this, I'm assuming this is when they made the deal. So this came before this. This looks older. Also, I'm sorry. He does look like a slut. Dude, don't get me started on allergies. In Seattle, you can see the pollen flying around in the air. If you're Australian, you have to tell. That's the truth. I tell you guys all the time I'm part Australian. I have the passport and everything to prove it. So I would assume that she is another affair. So could she be a secretary? Who was the secretary when they made the deal? Zach would be retiring, Guy would be taking over at the start of 1978. So could it be here? Because it was when they made the deal. What year? 1977. So maybe Christine. What if I Google some of these people? No. What about Christine Farrow? I can't remember who I've Googled and haven't. Sorry. Who are you? Who are you? Who's Elizabeth Cravensworth? Nothing. I think I've tried Googling all these people already, actually. Emily Seinfeld. Okay. Could that be Robyn? Well, the thing is, she looks like she would be a secretary. But I guess it could be Robyn if she's there when the business deal's happening. Okay, we don't know her fucking last name. Robyn. History? Do I have any history of Robyn? No. Who is Robyn? The guy in the back looks like Patton Oswalt. I see it. I see it. Have we had... No, this is Clementine, so that's different. Have we had anything about Robyn? If they were business partners, maybe she's listed under his spider search thingy. Guy Hudson. Is there anything here about a Robyn? What if I look at the older one? No. Okay. What about Business Watch? Guy Hudson. Surely Business Watch would have something about Robyn. No. How do I track down Robyn? I don't know how to track her down without a last name. Could she be Robyn? Why doesn't Spider Search have reverse Google images? Thank you, Targzip. I may start asking for hints just so we can get through it, because while I love the game, I have played it for so long that I'm like, I kind of would like to finish it. So I may hit you up, because I don't remember seeing a Robyn. No, this was the bread euphemism. Oh my God, excuse me. You'd think she'd be listed if they were business partners. So I'm like, who is that? What year did it say Robyn came into the picture in Australia? Despite his best efforts, I got the whole truth, including things even his family never knew about. The daughter of his business partner. Robyn wasn't the business partner. She was the daughter of the business partner. He and she definitely spent a few nights together that he didn't want his family. Oh my God, so then who's it? Wait, oh my God, I'm so dumb. How did I forget that? So who was his business partner? Would it be in periodicals? This one's old. Oh, they died in a car accident. That's right. I forgot about that. What was her book called again? Public Library History. Portrait of a Changed Man. Oh my God, who is his business partner? Why is this so hard to find? No, this is all family. No, it wouldn't be Robyn Hudson, because that would mean they're related. So it means they shouldn't be sleeping together. Although, I mean, the family tree is almost a wreath. So, because nothing's out of the ordinary. Nothing's out of the question yet. That's a Christmas party, but it doesn't say what year, and I don't know who this could be. I'm assuming she's married. Terry O'Connor. Catherine Garrett. Dude, this is hard. I can't find what I need. Okay, can I get like a little nudge in a direction? Maybe like something to search or like a evidence to look at again. I just need a little nudge. Because I'm at the point where I'm Googling everyone and nothing's coming up. I can't imagine what it's like to not have a footprint, an online footprint. International companies. International companies? Roottree Australia? Will it come up differently? Oh my God! I'm so dumb. I thought it would just be Roottree for the whole thing. Oh my God. Thank you. Roottree Aus is one of the companies created to manufacture and distribute Roottree candy. It was developed as part of the Roottree Everywhere initiative in summer 1979. According to history website for Roottree Aus, Charles Martin, who owned a company that manufactured licorice in Australia, was tapped to run the Roottree factory after he impressed the American leadership of the Roottree candy. Okay. Company shuttered in 1992 after the death of Martin. Okay, so let's Google Charles Martin. Candy manufacturer. Thank you. Sometimes I just don't know what to Google, you know? I just need something, a little push. Charles Martin was a candy manufacturer in Australia, born in 1923. He had a popular brand of licorice called Martin's Licorice Bullets. Most of his history is unrelated to the Rootrees. However, in 1979, he helped to develop Roottree Aus. He used his own wealth to build a new factory, and they distributed the maple treats through the same methods he had already been using. Roottree Aus, Australia. Charles' vast fortune was passed along to his daughter, Robyn Martin. Let's fucking go! Oh my God. Robyn Martin is featured in many of the top 100 wealthiest women in the world lists. Good for this diva. She owns a private island off of the coast of Australia where she reportedly has her own exclusive retreat. She has no husband, and there was a widely circulated rumor somewhere in the mid-70s that she had a medical procedure to ensure she never would have children. This fucking diva. This fucking diva. I'm on her side. You find a joke on a site called Edgy Jokes that implies she's quite promiscuous and has a punchline involving Robyn's eggs. That's not funny. For what it's worth, Martin seemed to lean into the rumors. In the 80s, she once showed up at a charity function with 3 very attractive men, each wearing a shirt that simply said satisfied partner on it. A charity function? Could that be one of the Roottree ones? Let's look at the periodicals, because surely she'll show up in here. Robyn Martin. Apparently, Robyn Martin sold off her father's assets in 1992, the year after he died. Thank you, Lauren. Thank you for the ones. The year after he died, which combined with her inheritance immediately catapulted her to an almost unimaginable level of wealth. The writer at Business Watch, who was assigned to report on this news, seems to disapprove of this move immensely. While the article does touch on the announcement of who took over the licorice division, as well as what was to become of the maple candy factory, the entire text seems to be dripping with contempt that someone would be willing to dismantle and gut such a successful company to earn a quick buck. The article ends with a dig at Robyn's personal life and lack of traditional values. But who am I to judge? Maybe she sold it to ensure a better future for her own children. Oh, wait. Boo! Boo! Did you ever stop to wonder why she's one of the wealthiest women? It's because she didn't have kids! Dude. And also nepotism, but also because she didn't have kids. So she went to a charity function. A charity function. Could it be one that's listed? Wait, did it say what year she went to the charity function? In the 80s, she once showed up at a charity function with 3 very attractive men. Okay, hold on. In the 80s, charity function. Could it be the Grandorf? Christmas tree bash, New Year's Eve ball. Those usually aren't. They're not listed here. Like there's the Grandorf Dove donation, but we've already been through that. Usually Christmas parties and stuff aren't. I think this might be Robyn because I think this is towards the end of his life. Oh no, but it wouldn't be because she never got married. She never got married. So this would be Robyn, right? Oh, that's last name. Oh. So this would be Robyn. Robyn Martin. Robyn Martin. What's her occupation? Nepo baby. Baby. Unemployed isn't diva. Queen diva. This fucking diva. I need a photo of her. I need to know what charity function they went to. What charity function was it? Because none of the company records said anything about a charity function. So maybe it wasn't a Roottree charity function thing. Where's her dad again? Can I not search her anywhere else? You know what's crazy? If this is the right placement, that means she did have a child. That means she literally had a child. You find a joke on a site called Edgy Jokes, Robyn's Eggs. What if I just start Googling this stuff? No. Edgy jokes. Besides the jokes about Robyn's eggs, there's a lot of jokes about the band U2 for whatever reason. What if I search satisfied partner? Wearing a shirt that simply said satisfied partner on it. Okay. Can someone give me a small nudge on how to get to the charity function? Oh, the guitars for U2 is called The Edge. Of course he is. Pushes you off a cliff. I just need a little nudge to send me to my doom. Roottree Australia skipped a search. What do you mean skipped a search? Skipped a search. According to a history website for Roottree Aus, Charles Martin, who owned a company that manufactured licorice in Australia, was tapped to run the Roottree factory after he impressed the American leadership of the Roottree Candy Company. Did have some success, but only certain regions. The manufacturing leg of the company shuttered in 1992 after the death of Martin. Would it be Roottree everywhere? I wonder. Ooh. Ooh. Okay. Roottree Everywhere was an expansion in the late 1970s. It coincided with some other large changes at the company and had mixed success. As far as you can tell, the different companies related to it were all formed in very different and sometimes haphazard ways. There's minimal organized information about the history of the expansion itself online, but you can glean the following. Roottree candy had been distributed globally to certain markets approved by Elias as early as the 1940s. This included places like Canada, Mexico, and select countries in Europe, mostly the UK. Roottree Everywhere involved Roottree's expansion to other major markets that were assessed to be ready for Roottree. This started with the four that it had no share in: Australia, Brazil, China, and France. Each of the countries had an entirely new company formed, mostly by making deals with local distributors and manufacturers. Okay, let's start Googling all these other ones. We're saving France for last. Imagine your friend asks you to only call them The Edge from now on. Me going through my midlife crisis. From now on, I want to be referred to as Milk Jugs. Roottree Brazil sometimes oh my god, this one's long. Okay. I Whoa. I'm sorry. Roottree Brazil, sometimes erroneously referred to as Roottree Brazil with a Z. Oh, is one of the companies created to manufacture and distribute Roottree candy, developed as part of the Roottree Everywhere in 1999. Unlike some of the other Roottree Everywhere results, Roottree Brazil seems to be a success. You do some rough translating and find a significant amount of information about it. Brazil was the only region in which caviar-flavored 5 pieces were a hit. The primary reason that the factory still exists to this day is solely to create that flavor, which comes in its own standalone 5-piece bags with Portuguese writing. A small town named Alva Lagos near the municipality of São Bernardo do Campo. Sorry for my Caucasian pronunciation of all of this. I do apologize. Became the location chosen by the Roottree Candy Company after a newly elected local politician named Edson Soares heard that they were planning a new factory and petitioned them in early 1979. If Edson Soares has an adult daughter, Guy Hudson fucked her. Guy Hudson, unfortunately, did put his wiener in there. We're looking into him. Don't worry. We're looking into him. The factory was controversial as locals did not want it there. The Rootrees visited Brazil around Christmas and managed to break ground on this project. Hold on. Could these be people that worked at the Brazilian factory? Whoever she is. She's from Brazil. Okay, anyways. Around Christmas and managed to break ground on the project. Since then, however, it has been operating relatively smoothly except for 2 incidents. The first was Incendio de Bordo in 1982. The second was an unsuccessful strike in 95 that involved all the factory workers being replaced. Fuck, that sucks. The factory was originally built and run according to paperwork at the time by a small company called Nova Corporação de Doces Brazil, which literally translates to New Brazil Candy Corporation. This company no longer exists. Not much information has ever existed about it. The Rootrees now run Roottree Brazil entirely. Okay, who is Edson Soares? Is he the politician that's in the photo? Edson Soares was a Brazilian politician. You find a dissertation published by a college student as part of their PhD in history. It focuses on the rise of democracy in Brazil. It seems up until 1988, Brazil was run by the military, and the politics during that time were often a hotbed for corruption and nepotism. The paper tells of a few politicians at the time, including Edson Soares. Edson is a former mayor of Alva Lagos, Brazil. Before politics, it was his wife. Guy Hudson fucked his wife. Guy Hudson said, sit in the cuck chair and watch me fuck your wife. Oh my God. He was a manager at an automotive manufacturing plant for a major American car company. He was put in charge of Alva Lagos by the military government in 1973. As mayor, he used his manufacturing background and knowledge of American business to establish new factories, distribution plants, blah, 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 blah. First, he became quite rich. Second, many locals were forcibly relocated. His wife, Sonia? This did not make him a popular mayor. In what the paper speculates was a move to counteract this unpopularity, his wife Sonia was discreetly put in charge of a television station called Telerede. He often used this connection to ensure supporters would appear on local television, spouting his beliefs and emphasizing his political victories. He remained in office until 1988 when he was defeated in the first election after the military government was no longer in control. After this election loss, he quickly left the town behind. It is not known where he has gone, but the dissertation even speculates he likely fled to stay alive. Okay, Telerede might be a periodical. Oh, okay, no. Okay, Sonia it's Suarez, you said? Hi, Jay! Dude, I'm reading this fucking book. And this fucking guy is gonna give his heart to this other guy. And then I find out that a bunch of calls didn't get made. Fuck. I'm reading this fucking book, Jay. I'm about halfway through and I'm already sad. There does not seem to be anyone relevant by the name of Sonia Suarez listed anywhere online you can find. However, Spider Search does return a page that lists a news anchor in Brazil named Flavio Suarez, who has a mother named Sonia. Flavio Suarez. Ooh! Okay. Flavio Suarez is a young Brazilian newscaster with a bit of a cult following. The discourse surrounding him is, to put it in polite terms, lewd. There's a website about something called fan fiction that has a small section dedicated to him. This is the best game ever made. This is the best game ever made. He got Wattpadded. They got to him. And now he's mpreg. Now he's mpreg. It seems that women and some men of a wide variety of ages and writing skill tend to find him worthy of inclusion in their stories. You skim some of the tales there and learn that a common thread is that he's currently dating a supermodel named Ashley York. Of course, it's spelled Ashley. Many stories either seem to ignore her existence or get her out of the picture rather quickly. They kill her off. Sentence 1. He was mourning the vicious and violent death of his girlfriend, Ashley York. There are also other more traditional fan sites that list some things about him, including his age, 18, his zodiac sign Libra, his favorite food grilled steak, and his mother's name Sonia. Also, it seems that Flavio translates to golden-haired. Golden-haired. One website with a signed publicity photo of Flavio seems to confirm this. The photo has been added to your evidence. That's a child of Guy Hudson. Kisses from Brazil! Kisses from Brazil! Kisses from Brazil! Okay. Flavio Suarez is a Brazilian news anchor. This is a signed photo of him sent to a fan you found online. Okay. So surely this is Sonia. And that's what's his face. What's his name? Ed's something. But did they break up? Did they break up is the question. Okay, I'm just gonna put it here for now, and if it's not right, then we'll move it. Suarez, and then this would be, what was his first name? It was like, is it Edson? And then, I need to take the photo. And then this is Flavio Suarez. And he's an anchor? News anchor. Okay. What did Sonia do? Was she just a housewife? That's a fucking child of Guy Hudson if I've ever seen one. That's a child of Guy Hudson if I've ever seen one. That does not look like an 18-year-old. This is the you know when you watch like high school movies from like the early 2000s and like every teenager is played like by a 35-year-old. Have y'all seen Grease recently? Those high school students are old as fuck. That's a rough 17-year-old. That is a teenager that has lived 17 horrible years. Stressful years. My God. Okay. I don't know if they split up though, because she could have had another kid and they'd be here. When was David Fellows born? Because they're going in order. Where is he? Mid-70s. Okay, mid-70s, and then when did he go to Brazil? Oh, you know, it could be this one. This is hard. Oh wait, no, she'd be Sonia Martin, right? Because she was that was her maiden name, I think. So what happened to him? Oh, we could check the periodicals. Let's try. Wait, no, no, she's not Martin. This is Robyn Martin. Oh my God, dude, my brain hurts. I'm putting Suarez for now, but she'll have a different last name. Sonia Suarez. Did I spell it right? Oh my God. What about Edson? Nothing? Flavio? Ashley York! Ashley York, a British model, appeared on the cover of Teen Blast wearing a fur shawl 3 months ago. This appearance doesn't lead to any useful information, but another more recent appearance in text only mentions she's dating Flavio Suarez. In it, a Teen Blast reporter asks how they met. I was in Rio for Carnival, and he was on one of the parade floats. I had no idea who he was, but I liked what I saw, and I told my people to invite him to the party I was going to. I felt pretty stupid once I realized that we were going to his party. Well, his mother's party. She runs a media empire down there called Sonia Alves. Sonia Alves. Alves. Transmiss Sao Paulo. Excellent name. Is a massive media group owned and run by a mysterious woman named Sonia Alves. It seems Sonia Alves is a common name in Brazil, so she has shortened her name to Nia to stand out in the public's eye. According to a history page that's focused on her company and vague, unsearchable details, Nia received a significant inheritance in 1980 and invested it in many different manufacturing businesses. In her hometown in Brazil, at the same time, she had just begun to learn the ins and outs of running a television network. She continued to work in television until 1988 when Brazil began its period of reform. She felt this was the perfect opportunity to launch her own media company using her investment and connections. Now her company owns television networks, magazines, newspapers, and advertising firms. After doing some translating, the page about Nia lists her as unmarried. It does not go into any other relationship history. Searching for Nia online, you learn that she stays out of the spotlight. She doesn't even appear at shareholder meetings. She sends a proxy. Okay, I think this has to be right because if she's listed as unmarried, they probably got a divorce and she changed her name back to her maiden name. Okay, I think that's right. So let's look into, where's the history? Roottree everywhere. Let's look into China Roottree. China Roottree is one of the companies created to manufacture okay, blah, blah, blah. We all know this. Lang Hongbo, who was said to personally win over the Roottree family and was the owner of multiple textile factories, did not wish to import the ingredients and build a special factory to manufacture the candy in China. So instead, they made a deal to import bulk, unpackaged Roottree candy and label it for not only China, but additional markets. Hongbo, who was already in his mid-50s when the deal happened, only had daughters, and his brother Lang Hongyu took control upon his death in 1986. After Hongyu died in 1992, it passed to the oldest child from the next generation, Lang Xinyu. Only had daughters? Okay. Already in his mid-50s when the deal happened, only had daughters, and his brother Lang Hongyu took control upon his death. Okay. Lang Hongbo. You come across a website for the Lang Tai Textile Corporation, which is a company that has helped expand Roottree's products to China since the late 1970s. The company seems very accomplished. Their site has quotes from many different reporters and news articles listed on it in nearly every language. It's also mentioned quite often on websites about Chinese businesses, but those mentions are company-focused and not people-focused. Their page contains a very rudimentary leadership timeline with names that prove that the company has been in the Lang family for a long time. Kind of looks like a family tree. It goes back to at least 250 years. That's cool. During the period where they began the Roottree deal, Lang Hongbo in China, the family name comes first, so Lang is his last name, was the CEO. He died before the internet was widespread, so there's not much out there other than his name on this website. His younger brother, Lang Hongyu, is featured on the history section directly following him. This also seems to be the only mention of the man. The current CEO is a woman listed simply as Xinyu. The site doesn't list her last name, though she does appear in the family tree below Hongbo. Lang Tai has a few American logos on its page. One is the Roottree logo, another is Tranquilts, and the third is Piece of Asia. But they said that the brother took over because Lang Hongbo only had daughters. And so they were like, we have to pass it to the brother because he's a man. But now the CEO is a woman. Xinyu. What if we search up here in the family tree below Hongbo? Okay. I feel like, so first name would be Hongbo. Last name would be Lang. And then I'm assuming Lang, is it Xinyu? Xinyu. I'm just putting these here as placeholders for now. Xinyu. So I would search Lang Xinyu. Ooh! Dude. This guy really stuck his penis in everything. Hi, Leandro. How are you? He really put his dick in everything. Insane. Oh my God. Okay. Lang Xinyu in China, the family name comes first, Lang is her last name, businesswoman currently running the Lang Tai textile company. She was recently listed in an article on a website written by and for women. The article entitled Empowered is about the recent rise of women entrepreneurs in China. The article states that due to her lack of brothers, she has a younger sister. Lang Xinyu took over as CEO as her family's company in 1992 after her elderly uncle was deemed unfit to run the company. Okay, so she has a younger sister. Oh, that's right. You can't put unknown female for the first name. But we know she's the older sister, so she belongs here. This is getting so juicy. If they show a picture of her and she has red hair, I'm going to scream into the microphone. If she has red hair, I'm going to scream into the microphone. Bog, thank you so much. Oh my God, me. I'm also unfit to run a company. That's so me. Thank you. I appreciate it. This was apparently an extremely controversial move amongst the company's employees, and some of them, the article does not state how many, quit and wrote a letter stating that she must have coerced him in his vulnerable state. All women know how to do is cry and have period. They can't run a company. Since then, the company has been performing well. Her nephew, who is currently her second in command, is expected to take over when she retires. In the meantime, the board's stance has been a twist on a popular proverb. The article roughly translated as someone that has proven they can do something well can do it 100 times well. A unproven leader could doom us all. Run that back on November 5th, 2024. Someone that has proven they can do something well can do it 100 times well. An unproven leader could doom us all. Run that shit back on November 5th, 2024, please. The article also offhandedly mentions that Xinyu was an early adopter of IVF and helped her sister have a child. There is an unsourced picture of Xinyu in the article. It says that it's from 1992 when she took over. She was 45 at the time. It has been added to your evidence. Please tell me she has red hair. She does not have red hair. But holy shit, wouldn't that be funny? Lang Xinyu from a recent article about the growth of female entrepreneurs in China. Ooh. Helped her sister have children. So what I'm thinking... This could be her sister and maybe not her dad. I'm going to keep filling it out just to keep my options open, but I'm like, she was an early adopter of IVF and helped her sister have children. But it doesn't say she was married. What if I search periodicals? Lang Xinyu. Okay. Searching for Lang Xinyu separately brings up much fewer results than Lang Tai. Lang Xinyu was even featured in Business Watch in 1992. She missed out on Watchman of the Year, but did have a pretty sizable article that mentioned some of her history. She was born in 1947, the first of two children. Her mother was already in her 30s when she had her. Oh. No, I think this is right. And had trouble conceiving a second time until 3 years later. This was Jinyu's sister. It became clear that her father was not going to have a son to pass the family business down to. This is how Jinyu became involved. Who's her sister? Her father stayed the president of Lang Tai for a very long time, and his daughters grew up. He began training them in hopes that one of them would have a son who could take over. One helped him in China, Jinyu, and the other in the USA. Neither were given any official titles. When he died due to societal dynamics, the business passed to his male sibling, a younger brother. Many in the know knew that this could be a problem. His brother, Jinyu's uncle, was not a businessman and was not much younger than his brother. During this time, Jinyu essentially ran the company as her uncle's consultant. Her problems related to dementia. Jinyu, who had already been running things behind the scenes, performed somewhat of a power play. She stopped working until the results of her absence began to cause problems. Only then did they admit they needed her. That's not a power play. That's malicious compliance. They all said, you're a woman, you can't run this company. And she said, okay, then I'll stop. And then they were like, oh, psych, just kidding. Actually, we realized you did a lot of work. But who was her mom and who was her sister? What if I searched Lang Tai? The Han family? Oh, Piece of Asia. Jerry Han has traveled from China, opened the company, connected to a much... Dude. Although Jerry's wife, Linda, doesn't speak English at all, she is currently taking classes and he is teaching her at home. He says she has always been a fast learner. He hopes that she'll be at least conversational by the time she gives birth. Wait, who's Jerry? Wait, who's Jerry? Her sister was a witch. When trying to court the Roottrees. Oh my God, it keeps going. I need to focus on one thing at a time. Lang Tai was mentioned in Business Watch fairly often in the last 20 years or so. There were a lot of articles about the rise of Chinese companies. Unfortunately, this makes the search results not particularly helpful. When you sort to find the oldest articles, however, one of the earliest mentions, October 79, stands out as very unusual because it doesn't involve Lang Tai's business. The article details a new, at the time, medical industry. In vitro fertilization was brand new, barely a year old. After the first successful IVF birth in 1978, seems the industry began to grow, and a featured article about different companies all over the world and the cost that they could charge for their services was in Business Watch. This included a few cases of high-profile customers. Apparently at the time, the CEO of Lang Tai was Lang Hongbo, and his younger daughter, Lang Jinyao, and her husband could not have children. So in an attempt to create a suitable heir, he paid key genes to have their child implanted. What the fuck? Hold on. Lang Jinyao could not... Oh, Jinyao is the younger daughter. So this would be Jinyao. Oh, shit. Jinyao. In an attempt to create a suitable heir, he paid key genes to have their child implanted in his oldest daughter, who was unmarried. Okay, let's look up key genes. I got it right. Key genes. They made international news in 1994 after a whistleblower came forward. Apparently, their services were in some cases falsified. While they did often perform IVF, the whistleblower provided that a few of their customers paid for a very different service, an alibi. The company would claim they performed IVF on someone who was already pregnant to create a cover story for high-profile families who did not want to give up the child but did not want the shame of an unmarried mother. The whistleblower claimed that they had helped do this at least 6 times but only provided proof of one case, the daughter of an American politician who was unrelated to your investigation. Key Genes shut down soon after, and both founders have reportedly fled to Lebanon. Holy shit. Oh my God. Okay. Can I search this in periodicals? Oh, this is more about the whistleblower. It seems that a whistleblower came forward to the U.S. government about key genes, which was said to have been founded in China by partnership involving American and Chinese medical specialists, who then built their medical facilities in the United States. The article mentions the whistleblower's claim key genes will sometimes claim that they performed IVF when they did not. This would often be used as an excuse for an otherwise unexplainable pregnancy. They'd fly their clients to America, where they would stay for an extended period of time, then return to China with news of a successful IVF pregnancy. Damn. This is all the same thing about the whistleblowing. So then would this be her? Jinyu Lang? It didn't say anything about her being married, but like they said like, oh, our youngest daughter can't conceive, so we're implanting it into her. But I think she just fucking had an affair. But she was married, so I'm so confused on who this needs to be. Or would it be her? Because she wasn't married. Would it be her? Oh my God. But then the baby would have gone to Jin Yao. Hold on. Let's search Jin Yao. Lang Jin Yao. The business is said to be owned by husband and wife Jerry and Linda Han. Their Chinese names are listed too. Oh, and from using an online translator, it seems that Jerry is Han Junwei and Linda is Lang Jinya. Oh! Okay. Dude, I'm so confused. That's what I was saying. The fucking IVF was to cover up the affair babies. But like... then what's her photo for if it's not her? Oh my God. Okay. Han Junwei. Oh, it's the same thing. Jerry. Did they say it was Jerry Han? Jerry, Linda, and Mark Han appeared recently on a website called Focus on Philanthropy under the headline Hangin' with the Hans. The Hans were chosen because they donate significantly to causes that further Chinese American culture. Jerry and Linda were both born in China and fell in love during college. Linda's father led a large company. This article never names it. After it expanded to the U.S., Linda's father approved their marriage so long as Jerry took over the U.S. portion of the business. Linda jokes that the entire situation is like something out of an Alanis Morissette song with how ironic it all ended up. I was absolutely terrified to move to the United States, but my big sister was desperately in love with the idea. She used to have this Butch Cassidy poster on her wall and was obsessed with Robert Redford. Big sister. Is Linda Jin Yao? No, she had a different name, right? No, Jin Yao! Oh my God, I'm so dumb. I didn't even fucking read it. Linda's Jin Yao. I'm so dumb. So is this her? Dude, I'm so confused. Okay. But somehow Jerry and I were the ones sent here, and now we couldn't possibly imagine going back. When we had Mark, we never even considered giving him a traditional name. Meanwhile, my sister stayed in China and has thrived there. She doesn't even like visiting the US anymore. Our kids are the complete opposite, though. Mark couldn't wait to travel abroad as soon as he was old enough. He's actually in business school in China now, working with my sister. Our niece, who grew up there, was the opposite. She couldn't wait to get there. She started calling herself Lucy Lang in high school and flew out here as soon as she graduated. The name change apparently drove my sister absolutely loco. Our kids are the complete opposite. So then why do I have a photo of Jinyu Lang if she wasn't the one that had the affair? Oh my God, I'm so confused. Okay, so I'm gonna change all this. I think this is them. But if they did IVF through Jinyu, then Jinyu should be on the family tree because she's the one that was impregnated. I have to pee. Welcome back. Can I say, I'm normally not a big, I'm normally not like, I love my own highlights. These ones were bangers. Considering I was out for most of March because of the bronchitis, these ones were kind of good. I don't know. I don't want to do my own horn, but these ones were kind of good. I missed the French stream, so that was amazing. Perfect. Literally, one of my favorite clips of the year so far is just going like this and backing up. Dude, wait, thank you. The fact that I was able to get 5.5 minutes of highlights after only streaming a total of like 4 times in March, I'm very happy. And also a big thank you to everyone who puts clips in the Discord. It makes my life so much easier. You have no idea. It literally makes it so much easier to do this, so thank you. Thank you very much. Avery, I'm repainting a doll right now. My eyes hurt. It's so hard. I wish I could zoom in IRL. You can. There's little things that are like magnifying. They're not like the scopes or whatever, but like you can. It's something that people use for like micro soldering. It's like a little stand that has like a magnifying glass attached to it, and you can look at your stuff through it. They're not magnifying. Well, they're magnifying, but they're on a stand, so you don't have to hold it up. I don't know what that's called. You should get one. Apparently they sell them at Joann, and Joann's going out of business. I literally just got fabric so I can make my own reusable Swiffer duster thing because I don't want to keep buying them. Are you going to jump up here? Were you summoned? Because you were at the end of the highlights. No? He walked away. He said, I'm not as predictable as you think. I want to make one of my own reusable Swiffer duster things so I don't have to keep buying refills. And I got the exact amount of fleece I needed for $3. Fleece and microfiber. It was mostly fleece, but a little bit of microfiber too. The economy finally took down Joann. I know, and my thoughts are with her, honestly. I'm in the UK, want to fly over with... Oh, you're in the UK? Well, y'all are living in like a more stable economy than we are, so it shouldn't be too hard for you to find something. Okay. I still have to fucking figure out who goes here. And I still don't know anything about Beth Knox. And there's so much going on here. Dude. What if this isn't even over here? I still don't know anything about Robyn Martin. This is a lot, dude. Okay, hold on. Let's go back to Googling stuff. Our kids are the complete opposite. Mark couldn't wait to travel abroad as soon as he was old enough. He's actually in business school in China now. Mark Han? Oh, it's the same thing. Focus on philanthropy, hanging with the Hans. Meanwhile, my sister stayed in China and has thrived there. She doesn't even like visiting the US anymore. Our kids are the complete opposite though. Mark couldn't wait to travel abroad as soon as he was old enough. He's actually in business school in China working with my sister. Our niece, who grew up there, was the opposite. She couldn't wait to get here. Okay, you know what? With how big this family tree is, I don't think this is over here. I think it might be under this section. Wait. Could it be here? Wait, what the fuck does this mean? Split up and then got with who? Who are these people? Okay, I need to slow down. Hold on. She started calling herself Lucy Lang in high school, and she flew out here as soon as she graduated. Lucy Lang. Lucy Lang is not exactly a common name, but it's not the most uncommon you've come across either. There are a few that come up with any searchable details, so it might be possible to narrow down your possibilities. A Lucy Lang is mentioned on a robotics website as part of Team Talon Claw. Team Talon Claw are one of only 2 teams from the US participating in a new robot-based show in the UK. That's fucking cool. Another Lucy Lang is part of a small women's a cappella group in Los Angeles called Gin and Tonics. A third Lucy Lang works in New York for a business called Corporate Synergetic Solutions Unlimited. This sounds like the best bet. Corporate Synergetic Solutions Unlimited. None of them are related to your current investigation. Oh, okay. What about Gin and Tonics? Lucy Lang is listed as a soprano. There doesn't seem to be much else about her other than her name and that she performs as a soloist. Doesn't seem relevant. Damn. Was it the first one? Team Talonclaw is the robotics club of Mideastern University. Their robot, also named Talonclaw, has been selected for appearance on the 2nd season of a British television show focused on robot fighting. A small blurb mentions that robot fighting leagues have existed for a few years, but there have been recent moves to televise it. Talonclaw was one of 2 teams selected from the US. Jaya Patel and supporting members Lucy Lang and Kurt Hauser. So what if I search these people? Would there be photos? No. What about Kurt Hauser? No. Sick. The Robotics Club has a text-only site you can find linked from the university student section. The site seems like it's used mostly to announce the schedule to its members. The club is supposed to meet every Tuesday and Thursday, but the last 8 dates have all been canceled because a few members of the team are currently in the UK. What if I search Mideastern University? Private college advertises itself midway between Maine and Miami. Their newspaper, The Herald? Does that count as a periodical? Yes! 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 Okay. Let's search Team Talonclaw and periodicals. Okay. Yes! Hi, Gamer Ghoul! How you doing? I know, not the pitch perfect. The Herald has a story about their school's robotic team, Team Talonclaw. It lists 3 student members and talks a bit about each of their history, including their interest in robotics. The only one that catches your attention is Lucy Lang. She grew up in China as Min Lang, so it would be Lang Min, but came to the US specifically to attend university. She says she grew up around factory-scale machines that assembled products that would be shipped all over the world, and the moving parts and automation fascinated her. However, as she has progressed through her major, she has become obsessed with smaller, more powerful hydraulics, such as the mechanism that closes Talonclaw's weapon. In addition to robotics, she loves linguistics. One of her hobbies since coming to the States has been collecting accents. In her spare time, she practices not only removing any trace of her native inflection, but also quickly switching between multiple different regional accents. She feels her personal best is the Southern Belle, but her favorite is the Valley Girl due to its use in popular culture. What if I search Lang Min? No. Okay. Where's the photo? Oh my god, look at this fucking diva! She's an accent queen like Avery. You think I'm an accent queen? I do not know what you are talking about. I simply speak like this because I am so well-traveled. What you would say, I'm a seasoned traveler, jet setter. It is just who I am, and I don't have to try, I just talk like this. It is just, c'est la vie. Do they say this in États-Unis? C'est la vie, it is like, it is like how you say, it is what it is. It is what it is. Okay. I think these two have to be over here. I think they're on this side. So I'm going to come back to that because that family tree is so big. I want to focus on Robyn Martin and how I can track down who she fucking is. Are you sneezing? Are you enjoying your catnip tea? I made them catnip tea. Can you see it in the screen? Yeah, I made them catnip tea in that bowl and they splashed it everywhere and rolled around in it. And I did it because I'm trying to keep them awake so they don't fucking wake me up at 3 a.m. to get fed. I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of it. Robyn Martin. Did I search periodicals? I can't remember. Robyn Martin. I feel like we did, right? The year after he died, while combined with her inheritance, immediately catapulted her. Writer at Business Watch, who is a silent report, seems to disapprove. Who was her dad again? It was her father. It was, I almost said his father was Martin. Martin. His father, Martin. Oh my God, what was the, it was from Roottree Os, right? Roottree Os. Charles Martin. What if we search periodicals? Charles Martin. Mentions that Charles Martin met with the legal and leadership teams from Roottree in late 1977. They came to an agreement and broke ground on a new factory in early 78. The Roottree company's statement, said to come directly from the president, was brief and a bit awkward. Roottree is excited to begin a new adventure down under. They love to say that. They love to say that. Down under. We're extremely impressed with Charles Martin and feel like this expansion heralds a new era for Roottree that will last for years to come. Roottree is founded on family, and Charles' family has also impressed us, especially his daughter Robyn. Guy Hudson said especially his daughter Robyn, and then licked his teeth and went, we know she'll continue to steer the ship just as Elias Roottree's family continues to do so here in the USA. Oh. Okay. We still have fucking Roottree France. So speaking of French people, we have to search Roottree France. Guy Hudson for sure went down under. Oh my God. Okay. Roottree France is one of the companies created to manufacture and distribute Roottree candy. Apparently, Roottree France was a non-starter. Negotiations broke down pretty late in the process after the company had already been formed, and then the leadership of Roottree went through a very large change soon after. CEO of Roottree France was meant to be Tristan Robert. Businessman who at one time was in negotiations to take over Roottree France. He is still alive, and you come across an interview unrelated to Roottree from a few months ago. It seems that other countries have not been immune to RootTreeMania, as you recognize the word Roottree in one of the questions. It seems the interviewer snuck in a question about his experience with the company at the end of the 70s. The article is in French and takes some time to translate section by section. He mentions Guy by first name only, and the tale he tells is quite ugly. Every chance he got. Hi, Michael. How are you? The translation is as follows. Guy, the president of Roottree, was one of the worst men I have ever met. That's how you know he's French. That's how you know he's French. He's just gonna say it. He's just gonna fucking say it. He approached my wife about having an affair, which she refused. He then kept insisting that this was the best way to celebrate the end of our business contract. We have to celebrate our business by letting me fuck your wife while you watch. Holy shit. Me and my lesbian wife saw you from across the business table, and we really like your vibe. We really like your vibe. I don't think he expected her to say no, and I don't think he thought she would tell me what happened. I punched him in the face and refused to attend another meeting with this man. They lost a lot of money on this deal because not only was he a terrible person, but he was also a terrible businessman. When he died shortly after, it felt like the universe was working things out. Maybe me and the French have more in common than I once thought. I also want people I don't like to die. You know what? Maybe the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Actually, now that I think about it. I wasn't surprised to learn he had a secret child. He seemed to treat women like collectible pocket monsters. It seems mentioning Pokemon sidetracks the questions a bit, and the interview never returns to the subject of Roottree. Okay. Well, first of all, you thought he only had one secret child? He's got a few. So we've looked through them all. Everywhere. We've looked through all of them. But I still don't know how to track down Robyn. And I'm still really interested in this charity function they talked about, because I feel like that was probably a Roottree charity function. Biggest haters ever, French people. Truly. You know, as time goes on, I'm starting to realize me and the French have more in common than I once thought. I also like shitting in rivers. Oh my God. What if I search some of these in periodicals specifically? Roottree everywhere? Oh. This is very brief. Okay. What about Roottree Brazil? Same thing. China Roottree? Roottree everywhere. Business Watch. No, this is the same. Did I searched Robyn Martin on here, right? Yes, this was the Business Watch where they were like not very nice to her. I need a photo. I'm kind of stuck again. What about Tristan? What's his face? Tristan Robert? Jesus Christ. Robyn Martin and Beth Knox have been like so elusive for me. I'm really struggling to track them down. And whoever this is. Okay, chat room, can I have a nudge in the right direction? Just a little bit. I would like a nudge, if possible, towards Robyn Martin. If possible. Read Robyn Spider Search again. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I'm sure I missed something. I'm a bit of a skimmer. Robyn Martin's featured in many of the top 100 wealthiest women in the world lists. She owns a private island off the coast of Australia where she reportedly has her own exclusive retreat. She has no husband. There was a widely circulated rumor somewhere in the mid-70s that she had a medical procedure to ensure she would never have children. Find a joke on a site, edgy jokes, blah, blah, blah. For what it's worth, Martin seems to lean on the rumors. In the 80s, she once showed up to a charity function with 3 very attractive men, each wearing a shirt that said, simply, satisfied partner. So I tried Googling this. Nothing came up. What about top 100 wealthiest women? No. Private island off the coast of Australia where she reportedly has her own exclusive retreat. I don't know. What about periodicals? Damn. Satisfied partner? We tried searching the Robyn's eggs things or whatever. I don't know what else to Google for this one. The satisfied partner shirt still had me so gagged. The devil's in the details. Bitch, I'm trying. I tried edgy jokes. Nothing came up with this. Oh, yeah, this was the YouTube thing that I didn't get. Robyn's eggs. Nothing. charity function? Every time I go back, it takes me to Roottree, France. Can I just say this is giving Mamma Mia? She once showed up at a charity function with 3 very attractive men, and then she's unmarried and has a child. Y'all are gonna have to spell this one out for me. I don't know. I don't know. Robyn Martin is featured in many of the top 100 wealthiest women in the world lists. She owns a private island off the coast of Australia, where she reportedly has her own exclusive retreat. She has no husband. There was a widely circulated rumor somewhere in the mid-70s that she had a medical procedure to ensure she never would have children. You find a joke on a site called Edgy Jokes that implies she's quite promiscuous and has a punchline involving robin's eggs. For what it's worth, Martin seemed to lean into the rumors. In the 80s, she once showed up at a charity function with 3 very attractive men, each wearing a shirt that simply said satisfied partnered on it. Look, I'm Sonic in flesh! Again, this is how I pay my taxes to the US government. I don't... Oh my God. Oh my God. She had a surgery to ensure she would never have children. I'm so fucking dumb. I'm so fucking dumb. Thank you, Zoe. Someone had to spell it out for me. I'm sitting here like, what am I supposed to Google? I'm so fucking dumb. I'm so dumb. So, who could this be then? Then I don't know who these people are. Okay, I would really like to move over here because we have this whole entire section. We have him and we have this one. And I still fucking don't know who Beth Knox is. So, okay, chat room. ROOTTREEMANIA is a lot harder than the Rootrees Are Dead. To be fair, it said a rumor. Well, my brain surpassed that, so it's fine. Am I in a position where I can find a photo of Beth Knox? Or is this one of those things where I won't find out till the end? Like, do I need to focus on Guy Hudson first, or can I do this? Because there's so many people here that I would really like to start working on it. It is harder. It is a lot harder. I don't know how y'all play this without a whole Twitch chat telling you all the answers. Me, things get too hard. I'm like, chat, tell me those fucking answers. Hi, Mika. How are you, sunshine? Have you played this fucking game, Mika? It's a genealogy puzzle game. You have to fill out this entire family tree for this family called the Roottrees. And you can only do it by like Googling stuff. So like you can Google these people, you can look up books in the public library, you can look up magazines. Like, dude, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. Also, before anyone asked, people were, because like I had this question too. I was like, why does the art look AI? The art is not AI. The art, they hired a board game artist to do all the art in the game. So in case anyone sees the art and is like, why does this look AI? It's not. It's real. Except this baby is 42 years old. This baby is in fact 42 years old. Mika, thank you so much for the raid. I appreciate it. If you need to raid and run, please feel free. If you need to go get food or just get off your computer, totally understandable. Thank you for trusting me with your people. My name's Avery or littlesiha. I mostly do Just Dance, but I'm a little sick and my cats kept me up all night. So I'm actually just doing whatever this is. genealogy puzzles. I'm just doing genealogy puzzles today. But thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. That's not a baby. That's a congressman. That's a member of Congress. Okay. So there's another photo of Susan Ford. Who are these people? Dude, I don't know. Could this be Jinyo? Where was the photo? Okay, hold on. Where are the photos? So this, Lucy Lang, aka Lang Min with Talon Claw. So Lang Min. Okay. This is interesting on the topic of IVF because they say, like, in the rule of like family trees, you have to use like the person's birth name, not a changed name and stuff like that. So I'm like, in the topic of a family tree, this wouldn't be the adoptive mother. This would be, hello. Speaking of cats that kept me awake all night. Hello, sir. So if it was by blood, then it would be Jin. Would this be her? And then would the kid be Mark? Because she carried the kid? Hey, Bubba. Do you know the answer? I need a hint. Thank you. That helps. Pet the wasabi. Pet the little man. I love him, but in the last like 6 months or so, he's gotten so clingy. He wants to be held all the time. So she did the IVF to carry the baby. So this would be... And she's not married as far as I know. First name Jin Yu. She's the older one. And then last name Lang. You're a little heavy. And she's a CEO, right? So she would be CEO. And then she had the child named Mark? But is that his real name? Mark, would it be Mark Lang? Did we Google Mark Lang? No. I'm right here. I'm literally right here. Mark Lang. Where did we get the thing? Where did I read the thing about their family? Was it Lang Tai? Remember when you were sad that they were pretty distant? I know how things have changed. I spent 3 years crying about the fact that they were so... Oh, Han, that's right. Crying about the fact that they were so distant, and now they're the complete opposite. Now they're the complete opposite. I love you so much. I get to snuggle with you in a couple hours and play Mario Odyssey in bed. He was just saying in the microphone, if you didn't understand, he was saying if you're unhappy about the tariffs being imposed, you should call your senator and congressperson. Use the app 5 calls to call your representatives and tell them how pissed off you are. I love you. Okay, let's figure this out together. Mark Han. Mark couldn't wait to travel abroad as soon as he was old enough. He's actually in business school in China now working with my sister. So he's working with Jinyu. Interesting. Mark Han. Business school. What business school? Hey, Bubba. Can confirm I read his lips. He said it. I think he called me a bitch and he's hungry. He said gay rights and I'm hungry. Well, you have food out literally all day, so that's a you problem. Maybe he's hungry for attention. He's hungry for attention. Can you go up a little bit? Just a little. Make this easier for me. Okay. Who the fuck is Butch Cassidy? Oh, Robert Redford, who played Sundance Kid, is famously redheaded. Hey. Hey. Donate significantly to causes that further Chinese. Jerry Han. What if I search in periodicals? Han family? Piece of Asia has its headquarters in Butler County. It is listed occasionally under many different contexts, as many local businesses are. Nothing seems important except the first mention from 1981. Newspaper chronicles that Jerry Han has traveled from China to open the company, which is connected to a much larger company overseas called Lang Tai that has connections to Roottree. It's not a factory, it simply imports and distributes Lang Tai's products. It also mentions that Jerry is the son-in-law of the current leader of Lang Tai. Jerry is the son-in-law of the current leader of Lang Tai. Isn't the current leader of Lang Tai Jin Yu? How does that make any sense? Oh my god, dude. This tree is getting insane. You know what's weird? It says Jerry's wife Linda doesn't speak English at all. She is currently taking classes. He's teaching her at home. But she spoke perfect English in the other thing. What about Lang Tai? Have I searched this at all? Lang Tai was mentioned in Business Watch fairly often in the last 20 years or so. There were a lot of articles about the rise of Chinese companies. Unfortunately, this makes the search results not particularly helpful. This is about IVF. Apparently at the time, the CEO of Lang Tai was Lang Hongbo, and his younger daughter, Lang Jinyao, and her husband could not have children, so in an attempt to create a suitable heir, he paid key genes to have their child implanted in his older daughter, who was unmarried. The cost of this was apparently 380,000 won? Oh, Jerry was the son-in-law of Lang Hongbo. Okay. So then Jin Yu would be the biological mother because she carried the child, technically. So she would be... So Mark's aunt is his mom. He's falling asleep on my shoulder. What was I searching? Lang Tai? When is the retreat? Another train quilts. We haven't searched this one. Ow. It seems train quilts is a play on tranquil and quilts. The name is ironic considering they're the loudest quilts you've ever seen. The main quilt featured on the website is a flaming unicorn soaring through space with peace symbols all around it. Hell yeah. Although they were listed on the website for the Lang Tai textile company, they don't seem to have much of a connection. Okay. So the other one was Piece of Asia. Piece of Asia is the American arm of Lang Tai, located in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. According to their site, the Tai in Lang Tai translates to peaceful, so they chose their name in America to match. There are a lot of other companies listed here, too many to investigate, as very few of them seem to have any relevance. It seems Piece of Asia is nearly as accomplished as Lang Tai. In Pittsburgh, don't I have a Pennsylvania periodical? Oh, it was Portland. Piece of Asia? Oh my God. I don't know how to find Mark. Focus on philanthropy? Hanging with the Hans? Dude, I keep getting like stuck in this. But Lucy Lang must be important because I have a photo of her. When we had Mark, we never even considered giving him a traditional name. Meanwhile, my sister stayed in China and has thrived there. She doesn't even like visiting the US anymore. Our kids are completely our kids are complete opposite. She's not saying me and Jerry's 2 kids. She's saying me and my sister's kids are complete opposite. So Mark is her kid and Lucy is her sister's kid. So this would be Lucy. Where did this fucking photo go? Where did it go? Oh. So this is Lucy. I don't think that's her birth name though. Is she a student? She's a student, right? College student? I don't think that's her first name. Because they put Lucy Lang in quotation marks. Lucy. Oh, Lang Min. We already figured that out. Okay. Something's wrong because we have 4 things filled out and it didn't pop. So let's see. Sorry, I'm very boogery. Okay. Is Jinyu Lang still the CEO? Jinyu Lang? I forgot. Or Lang Jinyu. Businesswoman currently running the textile Lang Tai Text. Okay. Lang Jinyu took over CEO of her family company in 1992. So she's still the CEO. Okay, what about Sonia Alves? You know what? She might not be a news anchor anymore because she runs her own thing. Is she also a CEO? Fuck, what does she do? She has her own thing now. Sonia Alves? Oh, right. What about Nia Alves? Media group owned and run by a mysterious woman named Sonia Alves. Common name for blah, 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 blah. She launched her own media company using her investment connections. Now her company owns television networks, magazine, newspapers, and advertising firms. So would it be Media Mogul? Yay! Yay! We're doing it! We're doing it! Oh my god! Oh my god! Let's go! Let's go! Okay. They're back. Please give me some. Oh, they're together?
Hey, it's us. So I just have to say, the work you're doing here is fantastic.
If they don't give me something to work on like they did last time where they just showed up being like, you're doing a good job, keep going, I'm going to be so mad. Give me something to work with, please. Please?
So fantastic, in fact.
There goes Clark. Always the bad cop. Go ahead.
The family tree just got bigger.
Well, our law firm, Roottree Legal Enterprises, is having trouble keeping up. They're actually begging us to stop submitting new root trees. They said it's getting difficult to verify your progress.
Well, consider that a good thing. I told Clark you'd get results.
He's like, there's just too many babies.
He says that like I didn't believe her. Regardless, the bad news is it's going to take 5 potential tree additions before anyone locks in from now on.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Good luck.
And keep up the good work.
That's almost the rest of the tree. So I have these 3. Oh, never mind. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 10. I have 10 left. Who was Elias Roottree fucking? Who was he fucking? The spouses don't count. So technically it's 10. The only ones they care about are these. They don't seem to care about the spouses. Because when I had the top secret thing for the last one, I didn't finish any of the spouses. Okay, also, who the hell is this? Who the hell is this? There's another photo of Susan Ford floating around. I don't know who this is. Oh my God, dude. Okay, we need to hone in on Elias Roottree. They didn't give me anything big surprise. Beth Knox. Dude. Give me something to work with, please. Please. So I'm assuming the Hans don't matter because I couldn't find any photos on them. And these two worked out. But how did... Oh, they must have met through Roottree stuff. Or was he doing IVF? Was he like, the kids I'm having from fucking are not enough, I have to donate my sperm. If I want to continue having affair children, I have no choice but to donate my sperm. Don't blame me, blame that whore guy Hudson. That's what I'm saying! That's what I'm saying! So who is this? First affair? Who was the second affair? Do I have any photos I haven't placed yet? Yes! Yes! Who's that blonde bitch? Who's that blonde bitch? Okay, so she was there. This actually makes sense because she was there when the deal went down. So she would have been early on. So who was she? Wasn't there an Elizabeth something? Hi, Jake. Hi, how are you? There was an Elizabeth something that it was like me and this other girl started at the same time and then they started fucking or whatever. Y'all remember that? Right? It was an article. Regina Clementine? No, this isn't it. Where did I read this? Okay. This was 20 years ago, and Sam warns that most of it is hearsay. Still, you find the following information that may be relevant. One of Sam's farm supervisors was named Elizabeth. Elizabeth had a daughter who Sam never met, but who worked as one of Guy's secretaries. According to Elizabeth, a caterer from a local restaurant called Antonelli's met her daughter at one of... A caterer from a local restaurant called Antonelli's met her daughter at one of Guy's parties, and they eloped quickly due to a pregnancy. Elizabeth wasn't aware that the party was for swingers. Rumor has it that her daughter showed up with Guy and didn't seem comfortable switching partners. Who were they? This was one of the first things we looked up. Wasn't it? There's also a section where Sam speculates that Elias may have also cheated on Gwyneth. Gwyneth was always much kinder to Sam than Elias was and was the first to invite Sam to family events. While she has no hard evidence, Sam always got the impression that Gwyneth was able to coerce Elias into allowing Sam back into the family using some kind of leverage, instead of it being a natural course of events. She mentioned that Elias and Gwyneth were known to loudly argue, sometimes about another woman. Sam also says her son Ernie once asked her, "Who's Beth?" because he overheard them yelling about someone with that name. As far as Sam knows, Elias once had a secretary named Elizabeth, a different Elizabeth than the supervisor from the farm, but she never met her. Okay. I feel like was this Joanna? This was one of the first things we looked up. Hi, Omni. How you doing? I was thinking periodicals too. Let's see. Periodicals. Oh, how did I spell it? Yes. The most recent time was when it closed in 1992. The owner, Rochelle Zimmer, sold the land the building was on, and at the time of the article, she was unsure if the restaurant would move to a new location or if she would retire. Many years before that, there's a puff piece from Valentine's Day 1978 that asked recently married residents of Butler County how they met. Christine Garland responded. She and her husband, Steve... Christine Garland is one of the secretaries. She and her husband, Steve, who was a chef at Antonelli's, met years ago when she delivered produce from her mother's farm. Steve used to work extra hours just to be there during her deliveries. Although they grew apart when the restaurant switched suppliers, they reconnected by chance and eloped at the end of last year. Now she has a bun in the oven. They're both working as much as they can. She's a secretary, went back to delivering produce on the weekends. Okay, this is Elizabeth Garland. Or Christine Garland, sorry. Christine Garland. And then her husband, Steve. And they're still together. Steven, sure. And then in the books, it says that her name changed. Where was that evidence? Because she got married, or they eloped, or whatever. Christine Farrow is no longer listed amongst the secretaries, but a Christine Garland has been hired. Okay, so Stephen Garland, last name Farrow, last name Garland. So they, okay. Christine Garland has been hired. Christine Garland's no longer working for Roottree in 78. Okay, so she's not still there. So, Christine Garland. Same thing, okay. Christine Garland. What about Christine Farrow? Oh my God, how do you spell it? Stephen Garland? Steve Garland. Ooh, Steve Garland. Steve Garland is mentioned in a couple of articles. The first was an article about how he met his wife, Christine, when he worked at Antonelli's. Ooh, okay. I remember we read this at the beginning but I forgot it all. Hi, Kyan. How are you? The second is from months later in September 78, a listing for his weekend cooking classes, Gourmet for the Groovy. The blurb mentions that he's been giving lessons from his home kitchen for the last month so that he can keep an eye on his son. The third was from 1991 and is titled Local Author Sued by Former Butler County Resident. It seems that a local author by the name of Mark Zimmer was sued by Garland after Garland saw Zimmer promoting his book Kitchen Tales on television. His recipe book was partially plagiarized from the recipes that Steve Garland would give his students during his cooking lessons before he moved. The article mentions that although recipes are hard to copyright, Garland accompanied each recipe with a short fiction about how he learned it. These usually doubled as a way to remember certain ingredients. Garland's bean salad, for example, involved making a trade with a gnome for some magic beans. That's the bread thing. Apparently, these stories were found word for word in Zimmer's cookbook in addition to additional stories that followed the same format. I don't care. I want to know who your kids are. Who are your fucking kids? Mark Zimmer, Kitchen Tales. A recipe book that contains stories. Re-release is Garnishing the Truth. Garnishing the Truth? Cookbook credited to Garland and Zimmer. It was released in 94. It was actually quite successful after the duo appeared to promote it on a daytime talk show. There have been multiple printings since. According to a book review, the recipes are accompanied by stories that help the reader remember the ingredients. Perfect time to learn to cook. The Zimmers. Rochelle and her husband, Mark Zimmer, have a few mentions in the book. Oh, Rochelle Zimmer. Both were local business owners. Rochelle owned Antonelli's, an Italian restaurant, and Mark owned a local bookstore called Bookmarks. Bookmarks? No. Bookmarks appeared in the Butler County Times many times. Oh. This isn't relevant. Okay. This must be their love story, right? What the hell's a zygote? What's a zygote? Dude, why can't I find anything on them? What did she do? Who's her children? So they had a son. They for sure had a son. But it doesn't say the name of the kid. I don't even know why I'm trying to do this again. I already did. Steve Garland. Oh, this is just Antonelli's again. Man, this is so hard. What do they do now? Dude, I can't Google anything. When it comes to Christine Garland, may I have a slight nudge in the right direction, please? Can I have just a little push? Because, man, I'm stuck. These people have no footprint. This Google's bad. Who was Garnishing the Truth by? It was by fucking Mark Zimmer, wasn't it? Because they did it together. Cookbook credited to Garland and Zimmer. It was released in 1994. It was actually quite successful after the duo appeared to promote it on a daytime talk show. Which is wild that they did it together after suing. There have been multiple printings since. According to a book review, the recipes are accompanied by stories that help the reader remember the ingredients. The reviewer says it seems perfect. Mark Zimmer. Fucking... Steve Garland. Oh my God. Oh my God. The introduction of this book is a series of acknowledgments from Steve. The first is, Christine, thank you for everything. Your support means the world to me. You are the apple of my pie. The second is, to James and Robert, you're becoming amazing men and incredible chefs. I guess I'm a good teacher. Finalist to Mark Zimmer, you prove my storytelling approach to recipes could be popular. Without you, this book couldn't exist. The fact that they work together after doing this, after like going to court, is wild. James and Robert. So it'd be James and Robert Garland. James Garland. Robert Garland. Okay. Okay, thank you. I think when I noticed nothing came up, I was like, okay, whatever. Forward by Mark Zimmer. I first met Steve in 1978 when he taught a cooking class. The next time I saw him was over a decade later when he was suing me for stealing his recipes. Yes, really. So you might wonder what I'm doing in this introduction. Well, it turns out that Steve and I had more in common than we thought. Instead of settling in court, we settled at McCarran's Brew House over a game of darts. They said they'd give us the first drink of the night for free for an entire year for mentioning them. By the end of the game, he and I agreed we'd both rather make a ton of money together than spend a ton of money on lawyers. It's pretty rare to meet your best friend so late in life, but when I decided to retire, I moved to Boston just so we could hang out. So if you're browsing this book in a bookstore, please buy our book. We need more money for when the free beer runs out, and the bookstore could probably use the sale. I know this is a shot in the dark, but I have to Google. McCarran's Brewhouse is a pub in Boston, and they have a website. Apparently the bar has been around a long time. On the site, there's a list of famous people who have had a drink there, including the former president of the United States, not the Roottree Company, Kennedy. There's also a few listings of television shows, books that came up. Blah, 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 blah. Local and regular Stevie G wrote a book about food. We prefer cocktails, but he gave us a shout out. We ain't gonna say no to free press, so grab a bite at his kids' joint. Fried Eye. His kids' joint Fried Eye, and then swing by and meet him for a drink. Fried Eye? Me when I'm Australian and it's Friday. Me when I'm Australian and it's Friday. Friday? Gotta get down on Friday. You don't sigh. Friday is a fair... I can't... Friday is a fairly popular restaurant in Boston. They don't have a website, but many locals seem to mention them in various places. One more in-depth review explains that it's not a full restaurant, just a front door and a very small interior with a window. Those are the best places, though. That's a hole in the wall. That's how you know the food's gonna hit. Unusually, the restaurant only serves vegetables, but a lot of reviews say that in spite of that, it's delicious. You also find a short story about it listed on a website called My Boston Homepage. Is this a periodical? Okay, we'll come back to this. Whoever runs the page seems to just link to random sites related to Boston, tell personal anecdotes related to Boston, and give their relatively short opinions on things in Boston. It's very unorganized. It has this to say about Fried Eye. Wicked overrated. I saw it in Chef's Signature, so I went and there was a huge line and they didn't have a single meat dish. What's even the point? Chef's Signature. Can you guys believe I did that all by myself with no help whatsoever? Before I go, I'm also gonna search, thank you for all the tips, I appreciate it. My Boston Homepage. Okay, none of it is related, so it doesn't matter. Okay, periodicals. So, Chef Signature Friday? Did I spell it wrong? Yay! Okay, Chef Signature covered Fried Eye less than a year ago, right around the time you were doing your initial investigation. Each article in Chef Signature tends to focus on a restaurant, and like the magazine's name implies, each restaurant lists the one main dish that the head chef is known for. Fried Eye's signature is the samosa cone. That sounds fucking good. Oh, okay. The children. The children. Can a vegetarian diet be trendy? We got the children, and they're looking a little redhead to me. They're looking a little redhead to me. Just a little. Good luck, hey bae. I hope it all goes well. Chef Signature, a nationally published magazine targeted towards fans of unusual restaurants, featured James and Robert Garland on the cover of their November 1998 issue. So is this James and Robert? James is in red. Robert? Chef? I'll come back to that, it's fine. According to the article, the two brothers own a small walk-up window in Boston called Fried Eye, a play on the tie-dye shirts that the servers wear. Well, they're not wearing it. That exclusively serves vegetarian dishes. Most of the offerings are heavily inspired by the powerful spices found in Thai and Indian food. Their signature dish is the samosa cone, which from a distance somewhat resembles a traditional ice cream, complete with a waffle pattern. Instead, it contains fried potatoes, pureed peas, carrots, and a special ginger-based sauce. That sounds fucking good. Robert, who is 3 years younger than James. Okay, good. Jokes that although the age difference has left him delegated to wear the sous chef jacket his whole life. Sous chef jacket. Robert, who is 3 years younger than James, jokes that although the age difference has left him delegated to wear the sous chef jacket his whole life, he doesn't mind. So this is Robert, who is younger. Oh. Okay. There we go. Robert, sous chef. Okay. As a result, James answers most of the interviewers' questions. James credits his love for food and his culinary skills to their upbringing. Most kids hate vegetables growing up, but they don't have parents like we did. My father was a chef, and my mother grew up on a farm that supplied his restaurant. That's how they met. I don't have any memories from the farm or anything like that since we moved here before I could even talk, but they told me stories. My dad's a great storyteller. He even wrote a book that partially helped fund Fried Eye. When we moved, they were looking to open their own restaurant together. Unfortunately, they never got it off the ground. His line cook gig ended up being less temporary than he'd hoped, and she had to go back to work as a secretary. Even after Robert was born, before we were old enough to go to school, we spent our days with my aunt. So she went back to work as a secretary. So that might be her last occupation. Special ginger-based sauce, how Guy Hudson made so many kids! Holy shit, that's good. That's good. Ginger-based sauce. Okay, before we were old enough to go to school, we spent our days with my aunt. In the diner where he worked, my dad had no room for experimenting, so he'd exercise his skills at home on his days off. We'd always go shopping and cook as a family on those days, and even though we were hyper kids running around and causing a ruckus, those were some of our family's favorite memories since we were all together. Mom always had the eye for the best vegetables for him to work with, and she did her best to pass that on to us. According to the article, their parents, who are now retired, visit Fried Eye often. Is retired an occupation? No. So I'm assuming secretary is what would be her last occupation before retiring. They even have a signature dish called the Sistine apple. Apple pie has always been my mom's favorite. My dad, oh my God. My dad always had this stupid line he used to make her laugh involving apple pie. Most people realize it's a Sistine Chapel pun and assume that's all there is to it, but it's actually secretly named after them, sort of. Secretly named after them, sort of? Sistine Apple? Christine? Christine sounds like Sistine. But what about Apple? Is there a Garland apple? Garland apple? A Macintosh style of apple ready for harvest in early fall. So it is? Oh, Steve and Christina Sistine. Oh, that makes sense. That's funny. That's funny. They're fucking funny. Okay. So I believe this is right. Now I gotta do the hard part and figure out who the fuck Beth Knox is. Dude, I can't find her anywhere because she's so old. She's old. Beth Knox. Dude, I needed the ducks' help for that one. Not gonna. Yeah, I might have to cave, or just ask you guys for help because like. What the hell? Because obviously it's from fucking 1921, you know? Like, of course there's going to be nothing on the internet about it. But I feel like it's one of those things where, like, once I figure out who she is, the rest will kind of tumble. You know what I mean? Beth Knox. Did I write anything down about her? No, I didn't. Would it be... Could it be Bethany Knox? Could that be her full name? Bethany Knox? Maybe not, because it says who's Beth. Oh, it could also be Mary Beth. No, I think it's just Beth. Because she's listed in the secretary thing. It has to be Beth. Because she got her, like, 50-year anniversary fucking thing or whatever. You know what I mean? No major expenses. Beth Knox 50-year work anniversary bonus, which means she had been there since 1926. Beth Knox 50-year work anniversary bonus. So when did she leave? Is she still fucking there? No, Beth Knox are no. She got her 50-year work anniversary bonus and then bailed. Okay, Elizabeth. It's short for Bethesda. I need a nudge. I could ask the duck, but it's gonna tell me the stuff in order. You haven't searched for everything on your list of notable events. That's literally, I have done that. I have done that. Haven't I? Roottree. Have I searched Roottree Rift? We did search this one. We did. This is what we're in the middle of. An author wrote multiple versions of a book last game. Maybe there's more. Oh, Jesus. What book? I forgot. Was it fucking Lauren? Lauren Roottree? In the wake of Six Pieces' release, Lauren Roottree, author of A Life Between Wars, was tracked down by a reporter as being in one of the most upscale memory care facilities in Pittsburgh. She was relocated back to Pennsylvania when she began suffering from Alzheimer's. There was a minor backlash towards the reporter that tracked Lauren down because they were caught standing on a ladder and holding their camera over the privacy wall. Damn! What the fuck? To take a photo of Lauren and her son Clark sitting on a bench outside near a small pond. Author of A Life Between Wars. Oh, Jesus Christ. How many did she fucking write? God damn it. When revisiting Lauren's book, there's a single passage that focuses on potential affairs in her immediate family. Well, how convenient. Well, how fucking convenient. Okay. An entry entitled Cruelty from Lauren Roottree's diary, written in 1963. It focuses on the relationship between her mother and father. While it offered... We didn't have it. Yeah, we didn't have it yet. My autobiography, 5th edition. How much is fucking changing? Pick a detail. While it offered only redundant information during your previous investigation, it mentions the subject of affairs and may be more useful this time around. I am no stranger to true love. Jacob and I married at an age that most deem unfit for marriage, but he was also enlisting at an age that most deem unfit for war. We had no choice. I knew in my heart that our marriage was one for the ages. He and I would still be together today if not for Okinawa. That was nearly 20 years ago, but there is an emptiness in my soul. I do not understand my contemporaries. So many girls I went to school with have taken multiple lovers. So many of my girlfriends' husbands have been unfaithful. If I'm able to remain true to the ghost of a man with no chance of physical reciprocation, no potential for long conversation, how could it be so hard to love someone you can reach out and touch, someone you can joke with? I have not had to deal with such madness at home. My parents are a perfect match in the worst way. My mother's cruelty is a perfect fit for my father's general spite. In turn, Pop's status enables her incessant need to gloat and feel superior. I have grown up with their cruelty and disdain for others my entire life. Even my family remains unspared. They make fun of my grandpop and his family sayings, blood is thicker than syrup, but nothing's thicker than a lie. They mimic Grandma Gwyneth's lisp and see her kindness as a weakness. Eliath, please remember Tham. Not even our family's maladies and religion go unmocked. Remember, God only put one eye in miracle. I can say without a doubt in my mind that my parents have never had eyes for anyone outside their marriage. They're too self-centered to look astray. I don't think I gained anything from this. She said they never wavered, but that's not true because it's on the family tree. General spite. General spite. Sorry. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what I gained from this. They make fun of my grandpop and his family sayings, blood is thicker than syrup, but nothing's thicker than Elias. They mimic Grandma Gwyneth's lisp and see her kindness as weakness. Elias, please remember Sam. Not even our family's maladies and religion go unmocked. Remember, God only put one eye in miracle. Is it something to do with her lisp? Is she saying something different? Please remember Sam. But she was an advocate for Sam, so that makes sense. Where's Sam? Oh, down there. I don't know. I don't... Oh! Beth? Is her name Bess? Is her name Bess? Bess? No, she was in the records as Beth, not Bess. I'm so dumb. I thought I had it though. I thought I had it. Could you imagine? I forgot she's literally in the thing. Where did it say they were fighting about another woman? Was it in 6 Pieces? As far as Sam knows, Elias once had a secretary named Elizabeth, a different Elizabeth, but she never met her. So is it actually Elizabeth? Is her full name Elizabeth? Elizabeth Knox? I already searched all... Dude. I need another hint. I was about to ask if there's someone named Beth, but I fucking Googled it, but also Beth Knox. Oh, was there someone named Bess in the thing? Let me see. Beth Knox. Farm manufacturing. Elizabeth Farrow. Thomas Green. Fred Gleason. Stuart Todd. Sam Harmon. See, Beth Knox makes the most sense, though, because she was there in the 20s. Beth Knox are no longer employed. Christine Farrow. Gwyneth Matson. Like, the reason Beth makes sense is because she had her 50-year work anniversary bonus in 1976, which means she had been working there since 1926. We have evidence of a Bess. We do? Oh, God. Bess? I would not recommend playing this game over the course of like a couple months because I've forgotten everything. I've forgotten everything. Bess who? Bess Williams! The author! The author! Wait! 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 I cooked! I cooked! Oh! I was right about the speech impediment. Chat, we're cooking. We're cooking. Bess Williams was an author born in the late 1800s. She lived just outside of Miami and died tragically young in a major hurricane that struck the area in 1926. Bess has a minor history with the Roottrees. Her only notable book, Family Man, is widely considered blatant propaganda about Elias Roottree. It had been all but forgotten until recently when it was re-released during the height of ROOTTREEMANIA. There's a site dedicated to hurricane statistics that also mentions Bess Williams. The Boca Doro Library, not far from where she lived, was partially destroyed in the hurricane. When they rebuilt, they named the nonfiction section after her. The library was expanded again in 1950 and then closed in 63 when multiple larger libraries opened in the surrounding area. Boca Doro Library. Oh my God! Dude! We're fucking getting somewhere. Okay. The Boca Doro Library no longer exists. You find multiple libraries in the area. According to the website for the library system in Miami, the building where it once sat is now the Miami Print Museum. Searching for the Miami Print Museum, you come across their website. It states their hours and a list of exhibits. The building is very small. Admission is free. Well, I would hope so. They only have room for a few different displays. One of the exhibits is their courtyard, which includes a fountain as well as a statue of an unknown author, Bess Williams. The picture has been added to your evidence. Another is a printing press that was used by the Miami Sunday, a now defunct weekly newspaper. The last is the original print of Cuba by Cubans. Miami Sunday. No records that you can find online. It merged with another periodical, became the Miami Mercury Sunday. Miami Mercury Sunday was a newspaper that lasted only a year, from 49 to 50. You find a small website about quirky printing history facts that mentions that the Miami Mercury Sunday was the outcome of merging two smaller failing newspapers. This resulted in one larger failing newspaper, which was only notable to the author because by combining the names in the way they did, it was tied for the longest title for an American newspaper at the time with the newspaper Jefferson, Texas. Okay, so this isn't a periodical that I can use. The last is the original print of Cuba by Cubans, an art book. is a book of paintings of Cuba released in 1963. It's credited to Marcia Barben. At first glance, it doesn't seem related to your search in any way. It says at first glance, though. At first glance, Marcia Barben. On second glance, it still doesn't seem related to your search anyway. Okay. You know what? Whatever. I tried. Is that fucking Bess? Is that Bess? This is a statue in front of the Miami Print Museum, formerly the Boca Doral Library north of Miami. It sits in the courtyard and according to their site is said to be of an unknown author. Bitch, that's Bess Williams. Bitch, that's Bess Williams. Oh my God. The way that, oh, she was an author. The way that hearing, but what about third glance? The way that hearing, oh, she had a lisp. At first I was like, who cares? And then it was like, I care. I care. Bess Williams, author. Did she write anything in here about having a kid? The reissue of this book was so lazy that they reused the famous photo of Elias from Business Watch, whose copyright had expired. The best thing it has going for it is that it's only 85 pages. Okay, but what about her child? Bess Williams. Bess Williams. Bess Williams. We looked her up already, right? So she was only like, she was born in the late 1800s and died in 1926. She was probably only like 30-ish. What about periodicals? Bess Williams. Fuck! Who's your kid? Who's your child? Family Man. Her only notable book. Does that mean she has other books? It's blatant corporate propaganda. Oh, there's an older version of this page. An old book about Elias Roottree. There's no downloadable version available because the book is impossible to find these days. So what if I search Family Man? Family Man, The Roottree Legacy by Bess Williams was a very poorly received book about Elias Roottree. There are very few copies of the original, published in 1920, but it was recently republished by the same publishing company that printed Lauren's Diary for schools. It seems they wished to capitalize on ROOTTREEMANIA. It did not work. So do I have to search the full thing in the library? Family Man, The Roottree Legacy? No, it's the same thing. And just like that, I'm stuck again. Remember when I said this was all gonna fall into place? Shit. Bess Williams. So I'm assuming her kid would also be Williams because she would have had a baby out of wedlock. So I'm gonna put Williams. What if she named him Elias Williams because she was so obsessed with Elias? Elias Williams. No. It was worth a shot. Outside of Miami. I want to find a Miami periodical. I was so close. I feel like a magazine would help a lot. Because she lived in Miami, so it's likely her kid would have lived in Miami. I know, that's what I tried, but like the newspaper merge was like failed or whatever. Let's keep trying. Boca Doral Library. Miami Print Museum. The Miami Sunday. No records you can find online. Became the Miami Mercury Sunday. Newspaper in Jefferson, Texas. Jefferson, Texas is a real place with a real newspaper called the Jefferson Jimplicute. As far as you can tell, nobody you've been investigating lives in Texas. Well, I'm desperate. I'm desperate. Mercury Sunday? Would it be the Miami Sunday? The Mercury Sunday? No. It merged with another periodical and became the Miami Mercury Sunday, which folded after only a year. What if I search this in periodicals specifically? I'm close, but fuck, it's so hard. Miami Mercury Sunday. It just says the combination of two smaller papers, but I want to know about the Mercury. Mercury. Miami Print Museum? No, that was the same thing. What about in the periodicals? Oh my God, dude. This is so hard sometimes. They make it so hard. One of the exhibits is their courtyard, which includes a fountain as well as a statue of an unknown author. The picture's been added to your evidence, and there's a printing press that was used by the Miami Sunday, a now defunct weekly newspaper. The last is the original print of Cuba by Cubans in our book. A printing press that was used by the Miami Sunday. Can you imagine only getting news, like up-to-date news, on a Sunday morning? Am I dumb? Why do I keep searching this? You find a small website about quirky printing history facts that mentions the Miami Mercury Sunday was the outcome of merging two smaller failing news sites. Okay, I need another nudge. Chat room, I need another nudge. Just a little one. I looked up the Mercury Sunday. Nothing came up. Didn't I? I looked up Mercury Sunday. Do I have to put the Mercury? Ah! Where's the newspaper based? Is it the Miami Mercury? Oh my God. Ah! The Miami Mercury is a now defunct newspaper that merged with the Miami Sunday. The resulting newspaper, it seems at some point during the process, it was at least partially archived and available via your periodical search. Thank you. Bess motherfucking Williams. The Miami Mercury had an article about the Bess Williams section in Boca Doro Library when it was being built in 1928. It mentions that Bess's young son, now an orphan, was in attendance during the dedication. It also had a later mention from 1949, the last year the paper existed, about a bidding war for a planned expansion of the library in 1950. The bidding was won by Wildcat Construction and included a new statue, fountain, and a second room that would double its shelf count. Okay, Wildcat Construction. Frank Wildcat Williams. This guy's name is Frank. That's a Frank Williams if I've ever seen one. Thank you so much. I really want to finish this today, and I'm at the point where, like, I was born for a life of comfort. I was not born to keep Googling stuff over and over again, okay? I need a Twitch chat to tell me what to do. So thank you. I appreciate it. Wildcat construction was mentioned once in an article you've already seen about the expansion of the library. It was also mentioned earlier in 1947 under the headline, Constructing a Better World. Frank Wildcat Williams left Florida in 1941, a construction worker, and returned a hero. He won the Navy Cross for his bravery and sacrifice, having carried a fellow soldier to safety under heavy Nazi fire. Now he and his wife Ophelia are carrying his fellow soldiers through tough times at home. If I don't do it now, I'll forget. Wildcat Construction is Frank's company focused on creating opportunities for soldiers finding difficulty getting back to normal. Ophelia has handled outreach to the wives of local veterans who are often able to provide insight into their husband's needs and conditions. She has, through such outreach, found 13 veterans of the war to serve as Frank's employees. Holy fuck, they're so cool. And you always tell us to Google stuff. To be fair, I did Google just about every word that came up in every single article, okay? It's just that none of them yielded results, all right? The community support has been unendingly and overwhelmingly positive. It has gotten to the point where if Frank bids on a project, other local companies have decided to step back and let his soldiers handle it. This has become a bit of a sore spot for local politicians and business owners, as the bids are often not as low as they expected. The problem for them is that essentially Frank has a selective monopoly, but any attempt to circumvent it has caused an uproar and accusations of being un-American. It's uncertain what will become of Wildcat Construction, but at least for now, we're rooting for them. Okay, let's search Wildcat Construction in Google. Ceased operations in the 60s. Okay, what about Frank Williams? Frank Wildcat Williams. There we go. Let's go. We're doing it. Frank Wildcat Williams is listed on a few different military history websites. He was awarded a Navy Cross Medal in World War II, and the story goes that even after being struck in the arm with a bullet, he managed to carry a fellow soldier through enemy territory on his shoulders. He died in 96, age 74, in a retirement community in Sweetwater, Florida. I thought he left Florida. An obituary on the website of a local news channel that was written by his surviving family also sheds light on some of his personal life. He grew up an orphan because his family died in a hurricane when he was very young. He could barely remember his mother and had no memory of his father. After the war, he ran a construction company that mainly hired World War II veterans and did a lot of jobs in and around the greater Miami area. He was a born joker and a shining light to those veterans who needed it most. An anecdote mentions that he used to insist he married his wife, Ophelia, as a matter of courtesy and convenience. She wouldn't have to change her last name. Sweet home, Alabama. Brandon. Wait, so her last name's also Williams. Okay. Construction. Is he fucking juggling hammers? And that's his mom's statue. That's his mom's statue. Okay. A photo is attached of Frank in his youth juggling hammers in front of one of his construction sites, as he was often known to do. According to the article, he is survived by Ophelia as well as his daughters Barb and Sharon Williams. Okay. Ooh, one of them is adopted? Okay, I don't know who's who, but I'm going to put them in here as placeholders. Barb and Sharon Williams? Right? Is that what it said? Yes. And then his photo should lock it in. Let's go! Hi, Phalanx! Thank you for the tier 2 sub for 88 months. I appreciate it. Thank you. We're fucking getting there. Let's go! We're getting there. I just realized we locked in every single one of Guy Hudson's affairs. I think we might finish today because I'm being less particular about asking for hints. I usually try to just suffer through it, but sometimes I'm just stuck and I'm like, you know what? Screw this. Okay. Barbara Williams. Barb Williams? Barb Williams is a motivational speaker, and she has a website that explains the services she offers. Her company's address is listed as Coconut Grove, Florida. Flyer's been added to your evidence. Motivational speaker? Overcoming adversity with Barb Williams. Her story will inspire you, uplift you, and then energize you. A lesson that anyone can take something away from. An intimate evening with a truly wonderful message. Book Barb for corporate retreats, church events, or even school assemblies. She can customize her message for any audience. This flyer includes 3 different testimonials from Greta Jones, Vic Elmsworth, and Isabel Crosby, the superintendent of Benton County, Kikkewa Falls Gazette. I feel like those are important. I don't know. Wait, what? His daughters? Wait, hold on. His daughters, Barb and Sharon, but... Oh, no, I see. Okay. Speaker? Public speaker. Okay. And then Sharon Williams? Okay. Fuck you, first of all. Okay. I feel like the testimonials matter. I feel like they brought it up because it matters. This one did kind of worth it. It just goes on for so long. And it's a lot harder than the original game. So, Greta Jones. Okay. Never mind. Vic Elmsworth. Vic Elmsworth, according to his own personal page, is apparently one of 3 brothers. All 3 of them are contributors to a newspaper called the Kikkewa Falls Gazette, and he tends to focus more on the southeastern United States. All of the articles he's written are archived on his site, including the long-form version of a review for Barb Williams' motivational show. Excuse me. According to Victor, he had seen Barb talk more than once. On this particular occasion, Barb's talk was at a very large church, and it was clear she was an expert at matching the presentation of her concepts for any particular crowd because she received a standing ovation. Barb started with a story about loss, specifically the loss of a bicyclist who had been hit by a car. She spoke about the death of any person as a darkness in their loved ones, a cold, empty void that begins to creep into a space where there once was light, because the light could never return exactly how it once was. She says the only option is to nurture new sources of light to help fight back the darkness. Her conclusion was that finding the hidden meanings in tragedy is the most important thing we can do. She used multiple biblical comparisons and finished by looping back around to her initial story and how she personally began to come around to this ideology. The biker who died was her son-in-law, and the Lanes Across America charity was created to fill the newfound darkness her daughter experienced. The charity, was the light that began to fill the void, and she was doing everything she could to help nurture it. Her son-in-law. So, her son-in-law. Wait, huh? Wait, so, wait, so then where is she? Wait, is this Sharon? Her son-in-law. Because none of these kids are listed as having... Lanes Across America. Charity focused on adding bike lanes to major cities. The pages and pages of news articles that mention Lanes Across America have a similar summary to them. In LAA was founded in 1987 after the death of Drew Smith. Drew was biking home from work when he was hit by a car. Each year since, Lanes Across America has grown, and they now have offices in over 12 major metropolitan areas, including Miami, where the charity began. And a picture of Drew. Her son-in-law. And there's a photo. God damn. Wait, but who's that? Partial wedding photo from the website for a charity called Lanes Across America. The rest of the wedding party is cropped out. The charity was founded after the death of Drew Smith, who's featured in the photo. Her son-in-law? I thought the same thing. I was like, Pedro Pascal. Her son-in-law. But she doesn't fucking have one here on the thing. Wait. Wait. Oh my God. I'm so confused. So this is a biological child and this is an adopted child. So Barbara has to be down here, right? I'm so confused. Who the fuck is Sharon? Dude, what is going on? Where was the other thing? No. Oh my God. Swap Sharon and Barbara. That's what I was thinking, but none of her son-in-law means that they were married in. Could this, no, because this is her spouse's. I'm so confused. I'm just going to try it, I guess. So who's her husband? So this would be Sharon? But these are like... Her having a son-in-law would mean... Dude, I'm so confused about this. I'm so confused about this. Does this mean they are siblings? Or is this... So did they have a child and then the child was adopted by... Because it's the next generation. But then this would be his grandkid. Dude. She certainly isn't sharing much information. Aren't you so funny? But it also doesn't say anything about her husband. Drew Smith. No, okay. Sharon Williams. Barbara Williams. Oh, no, I searched Barb. Can I search this in periodicals? No. Sharon? Drew Smith. Okay. What were the other anecdotes? Isabel Crosby? No. It seems like the only one relevant was the Vic Elmsworth one. Kikkiwa Falls Gazette. There is no Kikkiwa Falls anywhere in the world that you can find. The closest thing to a Kikkiwa appears to be in New Zealand. Instead, a man named Chris Elmsworth has invented a small town newspaper as a conceptual art piece. The Kikkiwa Falls Gazette is a series of online articles about small restaurants, shows, and other tourist attractions all across the U.S. This is presented as a monthly newspaper of small-town America. What makes the Kikkiwa Falls Gazette a bit strange is that amongst the articles detailing real locations are occasional stories that present outlandish, inflammatory concepts in extremely mundane ways. For example, on the homepage right now is an article entitled "Mermaids Strike Back Against Lobster Farms," that using very dry language details the idea that the mermaids in Maine have begun to unionize in support of better benefits. There are no punchlines, and the articles are not marked any differently from the rest. So they're the Onion. Which would mean her sister's husband is actually her brother-in-law. I know, dude. I'm so confused. I don't know. Who is Drew Smith and where does he go? Where does that man go? So to finish, I need to fill out these last 5. Son-in-law. He could be in any of these, though. Who was her husband? Overcoming adversity with Barb Williams. Hey, Drew. You know what? Just nudge me. I want to finish the game. Just nudge me. Where do I go, besties? Should I look up Sharon? Should I look up Drew? Oh, Lanes Across America had a different name. That's true. I didn't think it mattered. Hee hee. Lanes Across America, or LAA, is a charity formerly LAM. Maybe Lanes Across Miami? Lanes Across Miami? Thank you. Thank you. Searching for Lanes Across Miami does narrow down the pages and pages of articles. It does narrow down the pages and pages of articles you found earlier to only those with a more in-depth history about the charity. LAM was founded in 1987, founded by Sharon Smith after the death of her husband. Wait, so then this would be the death of her husband. Split up. And these must be her kids. These must be the 2 kids. Okay. So it was in the right place. Barbara, Speaker, Sharon. Oh. So how the fuck does this make... Is his name Andrew Smith? I guess it would be. That's Sharon. And then I'm assuming they're 2 kids. Okay. Okay. Sharon and some other board members stepped down in 1992 and the current leadership took over. One of the oldest articles has a full uncropped version of the same wedding photo from the LAA website. It seems that after Sharon left LAM, they began to crop her and the rest of her wedding party out of the photo to focus solely on Drew, who is the face of the charity. The full photo has been added to your inventory. Okay. Sharon Smith. No. Great. Great. Awesome. Okay. Andrew Smith? Sharon Smith. Lanes Across Miami. Founded by Sharon Smith after the death of her husband. Sharon and some other board members stepped down in 92 and the current leadership took over. Now what? Now what? It's across America. It was founded in 1987 after the death of Drew Smith. Drew was biking home from work when he was hit by a car. Each year since Lanes Across America has grown, they have now have offices in over 12 major metropolitan areas, including Miami, where the charity began. Okay, well, I'm stuck again. Well, now I'm fucking stuck again. An uncropped wedding photo from an old article about Lanes Across Miami. Partial wedding photo from the website called Lanes Across America. The rest of the wedding party has been cropped out. Would the people in the wedding Photoshop be her grandparents? These people? I don't think so. They look... Oh, do you mean her parents? No, because they don't have any other... They don't have any other photos to add. I just assumed it was her kids, because there's two down here. Dude, I'm so lost. Holy fuck, I'm so lost. This part is so confusing. This part is so confusing. Or could one of them be Barbara? Because they look the same age now that I'm looking at it. Dude. Chat room, nudge me, please. Please. Business names. Okay, business names. Okay. Greta Jones is, according to a flyer in your possession, the morning news anchor for a channel called WQTV12. Unfortunately, no online web presence whatsoever. You do find it listed on a giant list of television call signs next to the city Springfield under the heading Effingham County. You may need to do a deeper dive on a specific city and state to see if any locals have discussed the news in that area. Effingham County? Name of two different counties in the United States. One is Georgia, one is Illinois. You probably need to append a state name to find better results. There's a Springfield in Effingham County. Deeper dive on a specific city and state to see if any locals have discussed. So would I put Springfield, Georgia? When you refine your search to television in and around Springfield, Georgia, you come across a website that lists different channels available there. The list seems to only feature broadcasts with female news anchors. The person who runs the website has ranked each using 3 categories. Oh, come on. One of the entries is Channel 12. The news anchor is listed as Greta Flores. Okay, Channel 12, Springfield, Georgia. Greta Flores. Okay. Greta Flores is a news anchor who apparently used to go by Greta Jones before her divorce. Compared to the ordeal you've gone through to simply figure out her current name, it's way easier than you expect to find that she has a website for her accomplishment. She was apparently the MC for an all-female speaking tour in 1977. The tour was called Storytellers of Sisterhood, the Mothers and Daughters of Earth. You do a search for it, and it seems some of the stories were compiled into a book. 25 Stories of Sisterhood, Ayla Hale. Oh my God, how is it spelled? Oh, Beauty Brat? Beauty Brat. Hi, Undertaker. How are you? This is an anthology of stories told on a few different Storytellers of Sisterhood tours. It contains direct transcripts of the most well-received stories told on stage. One of the stories by Barb Williams has been added to your... Okay. Oh, here we go. We're back in Yappington, Illinois. Barb Williams had the transcript of a story she told on stage published in a book. The first part of her story focuses on two 16-year-old girls. My sister Sherry was a brat. Sharon. Always sulking, often disobedient, never on time. She borrowed things without asking and even ran away from home only to sneak back the next day like nothing had changed. My daughter Sharon, on the other hand, was a beautiful person. Her daughter Sharon. This is from Barb. So Barb did have a daughter. So they do have to be switched. Oh my God. Wait, no. Sherry? Sherry. Dude, what the fuck? What the fuck? I'm about to lose my mind. What is going on here? Okay, sorry. I'm trying to keep up with the things that I learn as I go because they write so long. Like the text in this part of the game is so fucking long that I can't keep up. My daughter Sharon, on the other hand, was a beautiful person. She had excellent marks in school, was intensely artistic and creative, and even volunteered at an animal rescue. She continues to tell stories of the two girls until she shifts the narrative. What was the difference between Sherry the brat and Sharon the beauty? Is it nature, nurture, a better education, different opportunities? The answer is nothing. There was no difference because my sister and my daughter are the same girl. What the fuck? Barb reveals that her daughter was the result of an unexpected pregnancy when she was only 15. I met a boy at a county fair. Unlike us, he lived in the nice part of town. He went to a good school. To a teenage girl, it felt like a fairy tale, but there were boxes all over his house. He was moving in 3 days. Those 3 days were heaven to me. The final night, he surprised me. He told me he could actually see me again soon. He planned to return to visit his grandparents. I thought I was giving him a reason to keep his promise. I never saw him again. And when I finally got desperate enough to ask around, a friend of a friend told me he hadn't even given me his real last name. So he's the John Doe. So her parents raised Sharon as a sister in secret. Oh my God. Barb also talks about when she found out she was pregnant, I was convinced my life was over, but my parents, they took charge. I had to live at home and work a part-time job, but they removed the burden of motherhood. I managed to scrape out a degree in English, and as far as my daughter was concerned, I was her much older sister. Holy fuck. Barb uses the story to come to a conclusion. When I was younger, I thought my sister was the brat, and I wasn't wrong, but she ran away from home to work at that animal shelter. She borrowed my clothes for presentations at school, and her creativity allowed her to open up Sherry's hair. It took me far too long to realize the beauty was always there too. In fact, the brat and the beauty exist in all of us. It was my inner brat that kept me blind to the truth, and I'd like to say it's the beauty in me that's finally able to see what I was missing. I implore you to call upon the beauties in yourselves whenever the brat tries to take hold. Holy fuck. Okay. 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 So this is right. Drew Smith. She started a hair salon. Hairdresser? Oh my God. Okay. Okay, so she started a hair salon, so I can Google the hair salon and get more info about her. Okay, Sherry's Hair. There's a Sherry's Hair in Orlando. The owner of the business is listed as Sherry Yastremski. Sherry has a large van and on weekends can bring the style of Britney, Christina, or even the Rachel to your door. Set in 1999, by the way. The About Sherry section is very, very long and presented as one paragraph with multiple run-on sentences and no pictures. You get the sense that if she were to do your hair, she'd be doing a lot of talking. It mentions that her husband, Pete, was her late husband's college roommate. Pete. What was the last name again? Yastremski. Okay. Was her husband, her husband Pete was her late husband's college roommate. She and he had never spent any significant time together until she became a widow and they built a charity together. They left the charity behind because it was growing beyond their ability to run it. She also brags about her kids, Tony, Mark, and Cricket. Her oldest, Tony, seems to get the short end of the stick, and his 2 listed accomplishments are that he's the oldest and he's a straight-A student. Okay. So this would be Tony. Anthony, whatever. Anthony Smith. And then Mark, on the other hand, has multiple baseball accomplishments listed. Mark Smith. And then I'm assuming multiple baseball accomplishments listed. Apparently his little league team is nationally recognized. Cricket York is near the end and has an entire section dedicated to her. She's an actress on a local television show called Library. And the reason Sherry relocated from Miami to Orlando. Sherry, in addition to being hireable to come do your do, is a stylist for the show. The passage also mentions that her agent recommended they change her last name to York since it was easier to pronounce. The rest of the section describes how she got the part, but it seems unimportant. Okay, so she changed her last name to York. So her name is Cricket Yastremski. Yastremski, because that's how she was born, I'm assuming. She's on a show? An actress. Okay. Actor. Mark Smith. Okay. We're getting somewhere. Library. Ooh! Library is a children's show filmed at a studio in Orlando, Florida. It has been on the air since 1991. In the show, multiple adults and children interact with different animal puppets in a small town called Library. Unlike some other popular shows involving non-human performers, this one isn't funded by the public. Instead, it's paid for by donations from businesses related to education. This includes textbook manufacturers like Corithmetic, tutoring companies such as EDUC82U, and a few well-known publishers of picture books. From what you can find, it's syndicated in a few markets across the southern United States and in New Hampshire for some reason. Like most other children's entertainment, many of those that grew up with it tend to have fond memories. That works in your favor because the show has been documented by a few fan sites. There's even a library web ring, though it only has 3 entries. You click through the sites in the ring and find that Cricket York joined the cast in 1997 at the age of 5. So she's only 7? She's only 7! Is listed as a current cast member. A picture of Cricket for one of her first episodes has been added. They're young! She's just a baby! According to the site you found it on, the theme of this episode tackled why some people needed glasses. So would I list her as an actress or a student? That's a real question. It sounds like her other kids are students. So would I say K-12 student and K-12 student? Who the hell are you guys? Okay, not related. I've started just going down to the bottom to see if it's related or not. EduCA2U. That didn't help. Oh, Cricket York. And her brothers! Oh my god! EduCA2U is a tutoring service. They have a deal with Library, and it features some of the actors from the show and pictures on the website. Included is Cricket York, who is seen in a photo labeled Cricket and her brothers ready to learn from one of our talented tutors. You don't find much else, except that there seems to be a small subsection of library fans who were deeply unsettled by the company's logo, which would appear after the credits on each episode. One writes, I was terrified of the little girl in the logo. She looked like some kind of demon doll, and I'd race to the TV every day to switch the dial before a creepy laugh came on. Okay, this one's obviously older, and that one's the younger one. Okay. We did it! We did it! Wait, there's more? Oh my god! Yay! It says there's 2 left though. Oh, are those the secret ones? I don't know who the secret ones are. Uh-oh.
Hi again. I know you probably thought you were done.
We've given you a new family tree to fill out.
But it turns out what you're doing here might have some pretty major repercussions on the family tree.
And we don't want to deal with that, so just burn it all down. All the work you've done, just burn it down.
Again. Also, there's something really strange happening. I can't explain it.
Neither of us can.
I'd call it a simple misunderstanding, but it's digging at the pit of my stomach. I just have a feeling. Clark?
Last week, let's just say being the president, sometimes people bring me things.
Just skip to the important part.
Right. One of our janitors brought me some hair she'd found in Ruby Spratt's trash. It was Bonnie Hudson's.
Hair? Hair she'd found in Ruby Spratt's trash? It was Bonnie Hudson's? How would they still have hair? She's old. Wasn't she one of the ones from, like, the 60s?
Bonnie is Guy's sister. She'd sent us her hair to test potential root trees, since her DNA is closest to Guy's.
Oh, she's still alive. She's still alive.
But Ruby threw it out, and I wasn't sure why she would have done that. Especially right before we began testing the tree you provided. When I asked, she told me she thought the samples needed to be fresh every time they did a test.
She's lying.
It seems really odd. Ruby was the one who convinced us to do DNA testing in the first place. She seemed so knowledgeable. I don't like it.
I don't like it.
You've done more of a deep dive on these people than anybody else has. Clark will keep a closer eye on the DNA tests from now on. You have an eye for anomalies. We need you to find the smoking guns.
If there's anyone you're 100% positive can't be a root tree,
or any you've got definitive evidence are root trees, then we might be able to catch Ruby in a lie.
Shit, I don't know. What do you mean, catch her in a lie? They're hoping that with your evidence, you understand an understanding of the family tree, you could verify which people in the dotted boxes are almost certainly legitimate root trees, very unlikely, and which of them are too ambiguous to make a decision one way or another. Additionally, with the suspicion on Ruby Spratt, it's possible that some of her behaviors in the past have also been cast into doubt. A new section of the tree has been added for you to fill out. Oh, Jesus Christ. Oh. Now's the time to review all possible root trees and input your deductions. You'll then be able to end your search and reveal the truth. You have 13 possible root trees left. 13? Good Lord. Okay. Guy Hudson, your promiscuity made my life so much harder. Can I just say, no one asked. I'm like a snot factory right now. It just keeps going. And I've been doing my neti pot every morning. I've been just completely washing it out every single morning. Doesn't matter. Okay. Dude. Oh my God. I have to review the whole thing? Okay, well, he for sure is a Roottree. I have to find a clue? Company records? Oh. Oh, it links to stuff. I mean, his hair. Diva? What is his... Wait, what's his dad's hair look like? Can I not see the dad's hair? Yeah. It's a fucking Roottree. That's a fucking Roottree if I've ever seen one. Thank you, Thomas. Nettie makes a thing that squeeze bottle so you can just blast it. That thing rules. Yeah, I've seen TikToks of moms doing that to their babies. When their babies get a cold, they take it and they squeeze it and like all the snot. It gives me the same feeling of like pimple popping where I'm like, ew, do it again. So much comes out and then they can breathe again. Dude, I will say though, I find the neti pot to be like really soothing. Because it's just like a gentle stream, so I just chill there with my YouTube videos. But I've been doing it every morning, and still throughout the day, I get so much phlegm. Or not phlegm, but mucus. They were twins, right? These two were twins? There was one arrest. Thomas Hughes, who was considered a former student at the school. Apparently, the destruction came weeks after he married the school's newest teacher, Mrs. Hughes. She was not a teacher when he went. Mr. Hughes was convinced that he was not the father of Mrs. Hughes' current pregnancy. Well, it's not impossible to prove. Susan Ford. How long have you been chilling over there? He's vibing with his little bowl. Y'all, getting sick is not, it's all it's cracked up to be. It's not fun. It's not fun. Don't do it. I mean, it's possible, but I don't know. Just fucking do the DNA testing. I can't tell because the photo's in black and white. Fuck. I don't think she is. I don't think she's a Roottree. Oh, but I can't tell. Wasabi. I can't tell. I don't know. Impossible to prove. Would it be impossible to prove? I mean, none of these are impossible to prove because they're all alive. Okay, question. Does the game only end when I get them all correct? Or can I try to submit it and they're like, oh, you got these wrong or whatever? Like, how does the ending work? Hi, I'm right here. Literally anyone with a rainbow tie. Not the rainbow tie again. That fuck ass rainbow tie. Oh, this whole part's optional? I don't think she's a Roottree because it mentioned nothing about Jinyu having any sort of relationship. I'm gonna say no for this. they're also kind of redhead. So I'm going to say yes. I'm just going to have some fun with this. I'm just going to have some fun. This was proof that he is a Roottree. They did DNA testing for that one. This one, I'm going to say... I'm going to say no to them. This is hard. This is really hard. I'm literally right here. I'm not going anywhere. I'm right here. I've been sitting here for 4 hours. Honey. Fuck it, I'm a Roottree. Fuck it. We all Roottrees. Another fucking affair? They added another affair? Wait. He had a 6th affair? What a freak. He's such a freak. Who was it with? Okay, unknown. Oh, Anonymom. Wait, it's the Anonymom's kid, so I have to figure out who Anonymom is. It's Ruby Sprat. Ruby Sprat is Anonymom. I'm calling it now. She's Anonymom. That's why she wanted to stay anonymous. But it was proved that hers wasn't, because they did DNA testing. So who is Ruby Sprat's kid? She's a lawyer, right? Hey. You gotta let me do my job. I'm at work. Wasabi, I'm at work. I love you. Okay. Anonymom. News time Anonymom. Jane Doe Roottree. First and only mention of phrase. Okay. What about Jane Doe Roottree? You gotta chill out. You gotta just relax here. She claims she slept with Guy Hudson, that her daughter was a Roottree. Okay, so it's a woman. Wait, wait. Is Ruby the daughter? So Ruby must be the daughter. Right? Because this is 1999. So maybe Ruby's the daughter, but they already proved that she wasn't. Let's look up Ruby Sprat again. Legal companies, relatively elusive. The most complete source of information you can find from before her time with the Rootrees is the website for a magazine owned by a major airline. Ruby grew up in foster care, but excelled. Mid-Eastern University? Ruby grew up in foster care, but excelled at school and earned a scholarship to study at Mid-Eastern University. There she graduated at the top of her legal class and was quickly hired as a lawyer. This came up before. Wait, the Herald. Hold on. We unlocked that periodical. The Herald? Ruby Sprat. Okay. Ruby Sprat graduated top of her class from the Mid-Eastern's Legal College. Her valedictorian speech was somewhat controversial at the time, as it was quite serious with a heavy focus on wealth inequality. This didn't go over well with the predominantly middle to upper class audience in attendance. Girl, fuck that audience. Ruby was right. Fuck that audience. The editor of the Herald at the time said Ruby, unsatisfied by simply earning her place at Mid-Eastern with a full scholarship, went on to earn a captive audience of her peers with a perfect GPA. It felt like the ideal occasion for a celebration of an undoubtedly incredible individual. However, by the end of her speech, there were many in the audience that wished that neither of those events had transpired. It was a passionate attempt to use her soapbox to proselytize her fellow students and their parents into the religion of poverty. They're dumb as hell, but unfortunately, judging by the silence, they remained unconverted. What a badass. They hated her because she spoke the truth. Let's search all. Portland? Ruby Spratt was featured in the Portland Telegraph when she was in high school in an article called Local Teen Making Change for Foster Care System. Okay. I think she's the daughter. So I don't think she's the mom. So who is her mom? Ruby Spratt. So who's her mom? Okay, so that's a woman. It's a female. Spouse is unknown named. Oh, filling in this person is optional. So this is optional, but I want to figure it out. This is so fun. Okay, Foster Fountain. What was she doing in Portland, though? Clark Rafferty LaRue, as well as Ruby Spratt and her company Ruby Legal Enterprises, were featured in Business Watch after the company took over as the keepers of the Clancy Trust. There's an article about that process in the interviews. So she's connected to Clark. It seems that Ruby actually approached the Roottree sometime in late March after the Roottree rift, but well before RootTreeMania, an accomplished but relatively low-profile lawyer. She offered to work for very little money so long as she could be a public face to build her reputation. The family quickly jumped on this chance, and as many family members often attempt to spend as little as possible. After looking over the Clancy Trust more carefully than anyone had in years, Ruby came to the conclusion that Clancy Edward Roottree's implementation was not legally sound and that there would be constant legal challenges. Ruby Legal Enterprises. Why is she protecting the family that abandoned her? Ruby Legal is now in charge of many financial aspects of the company, including verifying any claims to the trust and organizing. Oh, including verifying any claims to the trust and organizing the various charitable causes, such as scholarships that have been set up in the name of the deceased. Oh, is she like Robin Hood? She's Ruby Hood. This doesn't make any sense though. Like, they say that Ruby is like elusive, but they said that she signed on to work with the Roottrees because she wanted to be like a public face. So it's like, what is the truth, Ellen? What is the truth, Ellen? A magazine owned by a major airline, Ruby Group of Medri Stern. Did I look at everything under periodicals? Herald. I think I looked at all this. Clark and Ruby are connected. What if I search Clark Rafferty LaRue? Oh, he just shows up with this. Chat, I'm gonna be honest. I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry and I want to eat some food. Can someone nudge me in the right direction? Please. Can someone tell me what to search so I can start finding stuff? I'm hungry. I'm hungry. High profile lawsuit. Yeah, the one with Sisely Sanchez. We have the info from that. That was like one of the first things we got was this one. Sisely Sanchez. Where was this? They said that Sisely didn't have the rights to redistribute the photos in the magazine of Guy Hudson. Piketty apparently announced that they would be pulling their issue the following day, the moment that Ruby Legal Enterprises threatened them. This caused the issue to sell faster than any other in the magazine's history, though only for a day. Even people that would never have normally purchased it went out of their way to buy one, just in case it would be worth something someday. I'm working on like this final thing. I'm pretty sure the daughter is, well, she's not the daughter because the DNA test proved that she wasn't, but I think, I'm just trying to finish the game. I'm tired and I want to eat my food. I just want to fill this out and I don't know how. I filled in these kids. Wait, where's, oh. 5 possible root trees left to identify. Oh. Frank Williams. Update Bess Williams. I don't think so. I don't think so. You know what? No, Frank Williams might be a root tree, but it's impossible to prove. I think that's it. Where are the other ones? Oh, these kids? With Miracle? Shit, I don't know. No, this is ROOTTREEMANIA. This is the like DLC or whatever, the updated one. I think he is, and I think he's not. I'm running off of assumptions right now. Oh my God, wait, Gwen Roottree? Wait, why? What the fuck? Wait, Ron Roottree and Robert Roottree. Where the hell did these people come from? Ron Roottree. Three weeks ago, Ron's mother, Gwen, died in Paris, France. He and his brother, Robbie, have seemingly made amends. Can I search him in periodicals? What the fuck? Oh, this is an old one. Okay. Business Watch ran an article about 2 months after the Roottree rift about what really happened with Roottree. The article mentions that nobody from Roottree that they reached out to was willing to go on the record. Instead, the timeline of events has been constructed from public record, accidental leaks, and a source on the inside. The only parts that are new to you are also the most vague parts, the ones supposedly confirmed by their anonymous source. The timeline says that the family actually held a preliminary vote after Carl Roottree died, but before the release of 6 Pieces, and decided they wanted Ron Roottree to take over because of his experience running RR Productions and because he was a well-known and well-respected Roottree. But Ron seemed way too eager and personally motivated. They were worried he would gut the clans of trust to remove Robbie Roottree. The family was notoriously unwilling to do anything that could risk their wealth. They stalled, and Ron became frustrated with the delay. When 6 Pieces came out, he saw his chance to force action while the family was in the limelight, released the press release himself in an attempt to get the ball rolling faster. This caused chaos within the family. They tried to save face by allowing Ron to take over as co-president with Clark, but according to Business Watch's source, Ron was impossible to deal with. He seemed like he was unwilling to protect the clans of trust, and they eventually let him go. What about Robbie? Oh, this is the same one. What the fuck? Robbie Roottree was released from French prison after serving a few years of assault? Weren't they adopted? Oh. No, she was pregnant with his child. Wait, if she's the Roottree, then why would this be... Why would this even be in question? She's the Roottree. Wasn't she pregnant with his kid? I'm positive there was a thing about her being pregnant when they split up. You know what? No, they would both be Roottrees because she's a Roottree. Huh? I'm just putting yes because I'm hungry and I want food. I'm hungry and I want food. You know what? These last two are optional. You can summon Santa Claus. Listen. I'm hungry. I'm hungry. I want to hear the truth. Tell me the story. But first, here's the final optional entries you found. None. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm hungry. I want food.
You're not sure about some of the extra bits?
I'm fucking hungry. I want to know what happened. Just tell me. It sounds like you guys already know. It sounds like you already know.
That's okay. We'll work with what we have.
Yeah. I'm doing this pro bono. Y'all haven't paid me anything. You figure it out. You figure it out.
Using the family tree you filled out, as well as DNA tests, we were able to uncover the truth behind all the inconsistencies. Clark's handling the business, but I've come to thank you and fill you in on everything we've learned. Buckle up, because it's been one heck of a week.
Thank you for all the nothings. Thank you guys so much for nothing. Thank you.
Actually, that's an understatement. It's not every week you discover your family company is being sabotaged by someone they trusted.
That's our diva, Ruby Spratt. She was stealing from the company to help the poor. I don't know. I'm kind of on her side. Sorry. Sorry. Hi, Faroki. How you doing? Good to see you.
But that's the kind of time we've been having. Like I said, buckle up. Maybe grab some popcorn. We'll start with Guy Hudson.
I just bought a giant bag of Jelly Bellies from Costco. Hold on. Wait. Okay. Reason number one why I love Costco. Ginormous, like 5-pound bag of Jelly Bellies that will last me probably about 24 hours before it's all gone.
Guy had a frankly ridiculous number of potential children. What shocked me is how many graduated from potential to confirmed.
Who is that? Who's that? Is that Ruby? This might be Ruby.
We can even prove he was aware of them. The smoking gun was how he used company money to pay off a lot of women.
Are you surprised? Oh. Are you surprised?
He hid it with a method inspired by his idol, Elias. 5-piece flavors. The flavors he was paying to research were a ruse.
Oh my God! All the money that he spent into research into the new flavors for the candy was just all to his baby mamas. That's fucking genius. That's genius, actually.
He developed flavors based on the initials of the women he was paying. Which was really stupid, considering one of their names started with X.
Really stupid.
I got bagged. Hi, thank you. Considering one of their names started with X. So he did have an affair with Jinyu. Christine, Beatrice, Jinyu, Sonia, Susan. That's incredible. Yes, I'm also hooked on Odyssey.
Let's start
Don't
with
get me started.
Christine. Guy was paying her under the name Caviar, but there were some other clues. James was born 9 months after Zach's party.
Nice.
Christine was there with Guy, And when she got pregnant, she panicked. Steve stepped up. He even turned it into one of his recipe stories.
She had already prepared buns for the palace ovens. Yates insisted she had no obligation to prepare, but he shared her fear. They'd missed their final chance to bake together. In the end, bankrolled by the king, Flora and Yates spent their days baking together. Bankrolled by the king because he was paying her, and Steve is the real king in this story.
Not all of Guy's affairs led to offspring. He may have slept with Robyn Martin, but she didn't have children, so we'll never know.
I can't believe how fucking long it took me to put together that she had an operation. How does one man handle 5 families? Ask Guy Hudson. He's a slut.
Also, not every child of Guy's affair partners were his. Robert Garland was born after his parents had already moved to Boston.
Oh. I think I put them both down as yes. Okay. I wanted to tell me if I got it right or wrong, though.
Skipping Beatrice for now. Up next is Leng Xin-yu. When Guy showed up in China, she was into America. And Americans. Dare I say redheads, even?
Oh. She used to have this Butch Cassidy poster on her wall, was obsessed with Robert Redford, and they literally said Robert Redford was a redhead.
When she got pregnant, her father paid key genes to fake IVF. They claimed her sister was unable to conceive.
So her daughter is...
But her sister and Jerry had their own son, Mark.
She is a Roottree! I said no! I said she wasn't! I
Sonia
fucked this whole thing up.
Alves was soon after. Nia was married at a very young age to a much older husband. She resented him. I don't blame her. They allegedly spent no time together in private.
Can I just say, the fact that they put the sources here of like what to Google and on what platform is so genius as they're explaining stuff. It's so smart.
Guy was in Brazil during Christmas 1979. It's the only Christmas not in the records. Flavio was born 9 months later, and like the others, Guy started paying Sonia.
Her kid was so obviously his kid. Yeah.
Last was Susan Ford, hired to translate for Guy's overseas trips. It's easy to read into Guy's donation to her school, but there's no definitive proof there.
Thank you so much for
Hi, Patrick.
subbing for like 100
Thank you.
months. I'm like really, really stupid.
I think I put her kids down as not being guys. I'm pretty sure.
She and Guy were witnessed together near the end of his life. Susan's husband was convinced he couldn't be the father of her daughters. Guy, though, paid double. The price of twins.
Sugar plum 20,000. Damn. They were? I got everyone wrong. I got every single one wrong.
So, what about 5 Ps? Felix Fellow's mother, Joanna, doesn't have a 5 pieces flavor. On top of that, his story doesn't really add up.
Wasn't he the one with the positive? He had the positive test, didn't he?
His mother already left the company by the time Guy became president, and his lyrics indicate he was born sometime around 1975.
Then what about the fucking test?
Alone, that wouldn't necessarily prove it. But there are some suspicious connections between Felix and the company's current lawyer.
Do tell. Do tell.
They both grew up in Portland, in foster care. And according to the local paper, they definitely knew one another.
Wow.
Ruby was the one who approached the Roottrees to begin with. It was all a setup.
She faked the positive test with Felix. She faked it. This is incredible.
Ruby and Felix saw my book's challenge to the Clancet Trust as an opportunity. His mother really had worked for Roottree, And Ruby was a respected lawyer. She exploited my family's greed, worked her way into control of the trust, and ensured Felix got a piece. But they made some mistakes along the way.
That's incredible. Hi, Tia. It's good to see you.
If you look at the 2 DNA tests that Ruby handled, they were both supposedly tested against Bonnie Hudson.
Oh, I never got this. What the hell?
But the 2 signatures that should both represent Bonnie don't match. After Clark and I confronted her, Ruby lawyered up. Ironic, I know. We suspect Ruby had Donatico test Felix against his own mother's DNA. He had a hairbrush of hers. They sent the female sample in remotely.
Wow.
On the second test, Bonnie's sample was tested locally, but Courtney May's was not.
Who the fuck is Courtney May? I missed so much. I missed so many details.
Ruby's been throwing away samples. We think she sent her own hair instead of Courtney May's, but it could have been anyone's.
Oh, is Courtney May her mom that had the other affair?
Ruby and Felix were in cahoots. As for why, they were both advocates of wealth redistribution.
And I'm on their side, and I think they should do it
A
again.
noble effort. But once they controlled the family fortune, they became just as greedy as the worst members of my family. The money corrupted them.
Yeah. You know what?
They were so eager to personally wield the wealth for their own cause that they sabotaged any other claims.
I got every single one wrong. Aren't there supposed to be some sort of like odds in my favor that I would get at least one right? I got every single one wrong.
That finally brings us to Anonymom, aka Beatrice Watts. Her tales of guys, parties, and payoffs were true.
Beatrice is Anonymom. She was one of the woman that was hired at the same time as another woman. That's right.
She even approached Ruby before 5Ps was on news time. Ruby used Beatrice's truths to make Felix's lies feel real, then ruin the DNA test so that Beatrice looked phony in the public court of opinion.
Damn.
I feel worst for her in all of this.
So she is... Wait, who the fuck is this? Okay. So Ruby was not the person. Ruby was not the person. Again, everything wrong. Everything wrong.
While Ruby and Felix stole the show, there were some other potential new family members as well.
More? Jesus Christ!
Miracle Roottree was less of an open and shut case. That said, it's very likely he had a son with Mary Beth Clementine.
Whores.
Not Stuart. Mary Beth adopted him before she ever set foot in Butler County.
I put one of them as yes and one of them as no, and I don't remember which one.
That leaves Mark. The timeline fits. He showed up about 9 months after Mary Beth visited Miracle. And the basket baby story is a bit too convenient. If that's not enough on its own, he was also bailed out by the sister of Edith Roottree, Miracle Jr.'s wife.
Oh my
after
God.
She changed her name to win that silly contest.
I would not have been able to connect all this. I think I would need a real life whiteboard to write everything down. This rainbow tie motherfucker again.
Our best guess is that Mark was told by his mother whose son he was, and used that fact to put some pressure on Miracle Jr. We have no real proof of that, but nothing else really makes sense for why they'd be connected in that way.
I think this is how I put it. Actually. Didn't I say no to him and yes to him? Finally, I got one right! Let's go!
Elias's affair was the most ambiguous.
I think they're gonna land on the fact that it's impossible to tell now because he's probably dead. He's probably fucking dead.
Gwyneth was able to coerce Elias to do things he wouldn't have otherwise done, like pressure to include me in the family. My son even mentioned them arguing about someone named Beth.
Who we now know is Bess because she had a lisp.
Combined with Gwyneth's lisp, it's possible the name was actually Bess.
This was my favorite plot twist of this part. Of them just casually being like, everyone was always making fun of her lisp.
Unfortunately, all we know about Bess Williams is that she wrote his book and died not long after, leaving her only son an orphan. The timeline fits with Wildcat, but there's no record if she had any other relationship. Honestly, I wouldn't say we had enough evidence either way. I wouldn't be surprised if Elias cheated. Of course, I'm a bit biased. Regardless, we haven't gotten in touch with any of the Williams clan yet. That means we haven't been able to do a DNA test. As Clark mentioned, from here on out, all of our DNA tests will be in person for both parties.
That's fair. Hi, Isaac. That's what I put! Yay! Finally, I got 3 out of 15 right.
Lastly, we have a bit of a curveball. Ron Roottree isn't related to us by blood. Gwyn was definitely pregnant, so it's likely Robbie is.
I think I put yes for both of them because I'm dumb as hell. So that's a 4th one right. That's a 4th one I got right.
When Ron and Robbie went to visit their mother at the end of their life, something changed. Additionally, there have been a few rumors circling around Ron. RR Productions canceled the Guys Like Us remake due to the director's illness. At the same time, Ron's wife Penelope began doing benefits for Huntington's disease, stating that she had become familiar with it. Huntington's is the same disease that Gwyn's former co-star Leslie Florence had. It's passed from parent to child. It can't skip a generation.
Oh! So she had a child with Leslie.
Because Gwyn and Wild Bill didn't have Huntington's, and Ron seems to, it's impossible Gwyn was his mother. I recently confirmed all this with Ron.
So she adopted?
At the end of her life, Gwyn told Ron the story. Leslie and Bill had an affair the same year Leslie learned she had Huntington's. Leslie got pregnant.
And she raised their baby. Yeah, this section was hard, Godfiend. This was like the original game, but on hard mode.
Leslie wasn't likely to survive to see her child grow up. And even if she did, she didn't want to be a burden. She begged Gwyn and Wild Bill to adopt
so sad.
her child. Gwyn did. Mere weeks after she found out she was having her own son, she also took in Ron. Wild Bill was a problem. Unreliable and a serial adulterer. Gwyn divorced him and never saw him again.
Queen. This whole family tree's filled with queens.
Gwyn had already told Starlet she was pregnant, so it never really made waves when people saw her with a child in Paris. There was gossip during her divorce when she was discovered to be pregnant again. In actuality, it was the final months of her only pregnancy.
This is wild. How do you... As someone developing this story, how do you keep track of it all? Because, like, it all makes sense to me. But how do you keep track of all of this information just to make sure there's no plot holes or whatever? This is crazy.
To lay low, she stayed in Paris long enough that even her own family never had reason to question the timeline. It's one heck of a story, and frankly, nobody could be expected to piece the timeline together. Not with what few mentions of Gwyn's past have survived. But the Huntingtons itself? That's proof.
Wow. Oh, Post-it notes everywhere. Especially since this is an indie game. The way they look exactly the fucking same, though. The way in which they're twins.
Ron suing Robbie to remove him from the Clancet Trust was a huge moment in my story. and a major catalyst for this entire investigation. Finding out that it's been pretty much backwards this whole time has been a bit surreal. So that's where we're at. Looking over the information you sent us was useful. You had us recheck over some things.
Because you got it wrong. You forced us to do more research, and for that we thank you.
All this information, this entire story, it's a lot, in more ways than one. Some of it has the potential to destroy marriages and ruin relationships. We're handling it all very, very carefully. But we couldn't have gotten here without you. And with that, I guess our tale has finally, truly come to an end. No words can express how grateful I am to you for untangling this mess. Honestly, I've had enough of my family's eccentricities and scandals for one lifetime. I imagine you have as well.
Yeah, your family's fucking crazy. This is crazy.
And if not, well, there's always Elias's and Gwyneth's brothers and sisters.
Is that them saying there's more shit coming?
This is 5-piece coming at you from the real world. You know,
Game design Robin Ward based on an original game by Jeremy Johnston. Writing Jeremy Johnston. Jeremy Johnston, the human being that you are. They made it sound like they're doing it again.
man, y'all are hypocrites. Sitting back in your massive estates.
Jeremy Johnston was the news anchor.
Sisters gave you, acting like you somehow deserve it. Based on your family's creations. Yo, but look at here, sonny, don't you come
Is this the Felix Fellows rap song?
in hellfire someday, like that Madsen chick.
It really does sound like Eminem.
These blessed trust should keep you away.
That's so funny.
Disturbing. Catching a sermon from a geezer who's never known hurt, but blurts out these claims
Man,
that somehow we're sinners. 'Cause
I love video games.
all of your plastic came free with your name. You
I love video games. I cannot imagine.
from heat without blood.
Those credits were what, like 10 seconds long?
Spread 'em when you get me
Not many people worked on this game. I can't imagine the work that had to go into this game, and it's this fucking good. They have original art. They have original music that they credit and link to the website of the artist in real life in the game. They explain everything at the end with the sources and what to search and the website. Like, what a genius fucking game. I love video games. We are working on something new. Let's fucking go! Give me more genealogy puzzles, please. Oh, we're working on something. It literally says that. I can't read. I loved it. I think the next time one comes out, I really need to play it consecutively in days and not once a week. Because playing it once a week and then like getting sick and having to take time off, I started getting so lost in the story and confused. So I think the next time a story comes out, I need to play it like back to back so that I can remember everything that's going on. But holy shit, I love video games. Video games like this make me love art because this video game doesn't feel like an imitation of any other game that I can think of. This is like one of the most like original games I've played. You know what I mean? Like, I love video games. This was really fun. LT, we're playing on Tuesday. We're playing it on Tuesday. I talked about it earlier. Yeah, great game. I'm gonna go review this on Steam and be like, this is the best game ever made. So fun. So fun.